Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. It's getting hard to remember what day it is even out here anymore. It's like, what are we doing? All right, we're going to get back into it and try to get through some more of these interviews and get it done with. Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. Like I said before, I don't remember what day it is, so I'm just going to keep repeating myself. Hey Coco, Heather, Laura, Rondi, One-Way Street, Nora. Yeah, we're going to get through. Nora, we did the first lab interview last night. So if you missed that, you missed the first one last night, but there's another one coming up. Hey Claus, Chris, Whispers in the Shadows, Thor, Catherine, MK. Just in time to get home from work, MK. I don't know if that's a good thing. Coming home to me probably yelling at somebody. Hey, Catherine. Hey, C. I'm going to butcher the name, so we're going to play it safe. Hey, Scout, Pepper. Let's be honest. Music City Mom, Am, Kimberly, Mr. Tomato Head. It's fascinating, right? Yeah, it's weird looking at it all this way. Bodie McNote-faced, Broken Bougie. I almost called you Brick and Bougie. Mal. Josh B. It's not a shirt, Josh. It's a dress. But thank you. It's a little bright for my liking. I actually was texting Am about it. I'm like, it's a little bit bright for my colors. I stick to a very neutral or black. That's where I land. Liz, Sheila, Laura. Thank you. I'll show you guys what it is. Hey, Heather, Forever, Stephanie, Shama, Bo, Traders. I'll show you guys what I'm wearing. No Eyes, Sheila, Muffin Mouse. It's hot here. Hey, Jonathan, Stella, Rainy Days, Julie, Chico, Marcy, Lindsay, Sober Pug, Julie A, Taylor, Chapped. It's good to see you. Tammy, Dexter's over here causing chaos. Combat Vet. It's really bright. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Angel. Polka Dot, Suzanne. Okay, hold on. I'll show you guys what it is. Well, you can't really see it. It's like this baby doll dress thing. It's super flowy, though, but I'm extremely short. Here. Hold on. There you go. It's just a little t-shirt dress kind of thing. Super simple, but it's really bright colored for me. I'm not a big color person. It's usually black or white, tans, like everything like that. Same with my nails. So this is a little out of my comfort zone, but it's going to be 107 degrees in the next hour. So I don't feel like having anything on, and it's like wearing nothing pretty much. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for all the compliments. And it's super comfy. Yeah. Oh, you guys are super sweet. I am very tan. Hey, J Dub. Okay. Don't say that, Marcy. Hey, Mai. Oh, tell Karen I said hello. You're beautiful, mama. Okay. Y'all, so where we're at in the timeline of things is really kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest. Suzanne, thank you. That's really sweet. Yeah, we're all starting to get the really warm weather. So it's not wanting to wear clothes coupled with what can I put on that doesn't make me feel even hotter. Hot flashes are a real thing. Okay, so where we're at Slimy, and that's Chris and Katie's interview. So I want to ask you guys first and foremost, because it's like a 3-hour interview. Most of you have watched it. Stella, they're so used to me and my ridiculousness. For those of you that don't know, I used to be in an MLM. It's kind of why the joke is always there. I used to sell LuLaRoe, so they're used to me wandering around and putting clothes on and doing all stupid stuff. They're not fazed by it. But in this interview of Slimy, I think most of you have heard it. Again, I'm trying to kind of give a balanced outlook of where all of the foundation of this builds. So if you guys are okay with it, I am going to, hey Lurker, skip through some of the interview. And the reason for it is because we have so many to get through. And I think most of you have seen this. So let me pull up what I'm talking about. If you guys feel that you need to see the entire thing, we can. I just think it's redundancy because unfortunately, Katie and Chris's story really has not changed. The foundation of it has not changed. Now, can you point out things as far as adding in additional details, things of that nature? Yes, absolutely. And I'm not saying that because I'm pro team Katie and Chris. I'll be honest. We don't know at this point in time what happened to Sebastian. We really don't. So it'd be ridiculous to try and even say, you know, well, there's nothing that's possible because that's not true. We don't know. But if we go off of what we do know in law enforcement statements, it's going to kind of take us a little bit of a different angle. J-Dub, thank you so much. Okay, most of you guys have watched it. Okay. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Welcome to the cabana, whoever got those. I appreciate you so much, J-Dub. All right. So we're going to skip to, and the reason why I wanted to do even a portion of this one, though, is because Josh from the lab, we just watched his interview last night, if you haven't seen that. And one thing that was stated in there was that they weren't in communication with Seth. That was the first time they had talked to Seth, Trevor, and Josh. They had been communicating, Trevor Lee, with family of Seth. So I find it interesting that Josh goes on here on Slimies and attempts to get Chris to, I don't even know what the attempt was to do. He was trying to catch Chris up in something. It didn't work ultimately, which is kind of what we know, but it was attempted. So let's see where we're at. Again, this is all under fair use. What I want to do is I want to get through this section of it. And then I want to move on to Josh's next live, because coming up in the beginning of April, we're not even through the end of March yet. Coming up in the beginning of the first week of April, there's some channels that he was on that some of you might not even realize. So, and that's important because I guarantee there's an interview or two that some of you have probably never seen or didn't realize he was on. So here we go. Oh, thank you, JJ. It's a dress. Oh, no. Chico, I hope your baby feels better. All right, let's go. This is all under fair use. This is based on my opinion only of the BS that they have put out here publicly. So we're going to start at about the 1:13-minute mark, and then I'm going to walk you through.
Thank you, Dan.
He fell down, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. When I was talking to Chris earlier, and him and I were messaging, and I asked him about DCS, and he said the only case that DCS has open is because Sebastian ran away.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Hey, Chris, Josh was going to
Yes,
call
ma'am.
me. I accidentally punched a 3 instead of a 2 or whatever, and he jumped up here on
That's
panel.
fine.
We can hear him. Okay, Slimy, we can hear him.
He wanted to ask you something, actually. Sorry.
Fire away, man.
Well, so you and I we had messaged earlier on Facebook, and I had asked you about DCS, and you said that there were no other interactions with CPS or DCS, except for Sebastian going missing, which I then told you, but that's not mandatory necessarily unless CPS was already involved.
No, and Josh is trying to confuse the situation, and he's putting out misinformation right here. But I want people to realize where the source of this misinformation really started to stem from. And Mr. Gumball himself was a big problem in this.
So
Now,
you're not really being honest.
Wait a minute. You asked me, because I'll read the messages to everybody in God and Country. You asked me if there was an active CPS case on Sebastian. That's what you asked. And I told you, yes, there was, because the sheriff's department told us that they had to report it because he was missing. That's what you asked. Now, you also started to ask if there was another case, and there was no other case that I know of that's active. That's what you asked.
Silence.
Josh?
And you know what's the crazy part is he goes on his After Dark show after this, and he admits that he was there the entire time. He could hear him. He just didn't have anything to say. He was playing this whole trickery game, trying to get Chris to act like he lied about something. No, Josh, that's not what happened. He answered your question. Hey, everybody coming in.
Yeah, I'm here.
So, like I said, sir, I'm brash. I'm to the point. Be respectful.
Can you hear
And
me?
I will tell you, and I'll be honest, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I got nothing to hide.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah,
He admits that he's like, well, yeah, you'll hear that too, Mai. You'll hear his half admitting it.
said, okay. Can you hear him, Josh?
I can hear him, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said, well, in the messages that I asked that it was pertaining to Sebastian's school, right? Like you just said. And you said, no, other than him going missing, no CPS cases. I don't know. I can't hear. Maybe that.
He didn't say anything. Can you hear him, Chris? Can you hear
Hello?
him?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can now. I can now.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you didn't ask, you asked about active cases. That's what you asked about. And I answered your question.
You did. You answered my question.
Hello? Hello?
He said you answered his question. I can hear you. Can you hear him, Josh?
Okay.
This whole game that creators play when they do that kind of stuff drives me nuts. I can't stand it when they do this whole, like, I can't hear you type of thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to sweat the people and make the people nervous. None of these people are professionals. Let me be clear again. Not one of them are professionals or actually interview people the correct way. It's ridiculous to even consider these people in the whole professionals of interviewing.
I can't hear him.
Okay. Can y'all?
So-
Absolutely intentional.
I think
So he's asked me, and I can't pull it up because if I pull it up, then we lose contact. But he asked.
You can go hear him admit to it on his Lab After Dark show after this interview. You can go listen to him talk about how intentional these pauses were.
Me if there was active DCH, CPS, whatever you want to call it, case with Sebastian. And I said, yes, he's missing. I was told by the sheriff's department that they had to report it. So yes, there's an active case. Is there anything other than that? No, there's not an active case.
He was speaking about active cases. He wasn't saying that there was not any CPS interaction over the past. That was never said. He was speaking about, yes, there's an active open CPS. That's it. That's all.
So my statement that I told you is true.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
I mean, I get it, the active investigation, but yeah, but you did really. Maybe it's just because of text, but you did make it seem like there was no, like that this was the first time that they'd ever been involved at all.
No, I didn't insinuate. Now, understand something. Words on paper are simply words on paper. Whatever emotions you put behind them is directly proportionate to yourself, not me.
Oh, sir, I didn't put any emotion behind it. I'm just saying.
You didn't only put emotion behind it, you put a whole entire intent that he was intentionally trying to dupe you and misleading you. You didn't even just put emotion, you put words in there that didn't belong.
What you're saying, you're trying to insinuate on this show.
No.
Yes, you did, sir. Yes, because you just stated that you said that I made it sound like this. No, I didn't. I told you, I gave you a direct statement, gave you your answer, and that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. Then you called into the show and you said, "No, you're lying." No, I'm not lying. So call a spade, but make sure you're right. Now, to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with finding my son.
You don't think that okay. All right. Well, look, man.
How does CPS have to do with anything finding Sebastian? Because if you're insinuating something,
well, you said they opened up an investigation. You said they opened up an investigation. So you tell me what it has to do with him.
Because what did I tell you? That's what you're not listening.
They want to hear what they want to hear. And if you don't say what they want to hear, they'll twist your words into making it something else.
The sheriff's department told us that they are required to report it to DCS, CPS, whatever you want to call them. They are required to report it to them. Mm-hmm. That answer has yet to change. It hasn't changed any of the slightest.
And okay, so I get it. So it's the only open investigation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the next hard one we got? Fire away.
Okay.
I love Chris's attitude right there. Right there. What's the next hard one that you guys are going to try to trip me up on? Fire in the hole. Like he's taking no bullshit. And if you guys think for 1 second they weren't aware of stuff going on, they absolutely have been aware of what's being said, who's it's being said by. Like if there was something very concerning, like A Balance over there blatantly saying that they murmured their child, and he's a great parent, kind of stuff like that. They know. They absolutely know.
Okay. So I was just wondering, like, Katie, let me ask you this, or anybody can answer. So like if y'all were at home alone, like because Chris works out of town a lot, and I just wonder, like, would Sebastian know what to do if there was a house fire? Like, if it was just you and him, does he know how to handle all that kind of emergency stuff?
We have gone over it with him several times, talked about, like, what to do in case of an emergency, calling 911, run into a neighbor's house to ask for help, known friendly neighbors.
By the way, once again, because Mystic, who hangs out on Granny's channel and has become like a weird nonsense obsessive hater. Anyways, because they were in Granny's chat this morning pushing off misinformation. I'll correct it here again too. The whole dispatch audio that we have heard where a neighbor reports that they previously had a kid underneath their car at one point in time, there's no clarification that was ever Sebastian. There is no proof that happened or that it was Sebastian, just so people factually know. Yes, it was in the dispatch audio, but that's all the further.
How to get out, if a door is blocked and that type of thing. So yes, he should, assuming that he, is able to think in a, sorry, I'm losing my word, like in a panic, like if there's an emergency happening. But yes, we have safety plans that we've gone over.
They have safety plans. Imagine that. What amazing parents that they have safety plans with a child in the home. I mean, shocking, right? Okay. we're switching gears here right quick because I can't really handle her. If you want to see the rest of that for more of a in-depth baseline of Chris and Katie and what they have said, I encourage you to go watch them. I just feel that some of these interviews that they did have been so picked apart by every single channel that people have missed bigger pieces of this whole entire puzzle. And that's what I really want to focus on. I really want to focus on the team because Chris and Katie have never been a part of the team. Chris and Katie, it came out instantly. Thank you, COVIDs. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships, y'all. You guys are so sweet. Thank you again. That was really kind. Here, let's play a button right quick before we get into this. You can tell I'm dragging my feet again.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
Okay, speaking of fun and games, guess where we're back to? So this takes us to the next tour on the 27th of March. On the 27th of March, Seth goes back on the lab. So, yes, there had been some national news media interviews, Nancy Grace, things of that nature, but we are focusing on the YouTube creators, their BS, and what he had to say. Yes, the national media outlets absolutely played a hand in all of the confusion and the chaos and the misinformation that was spread. I will not overlook that. But it's so redundant because most of those people went off of misinformation. Like national media picked up YouTubers' bullshit and ran with it too. And Seth. All right. So we are going back to the lab and Trevor Lee, my not so favorite person to review. But Seth comes on here in a short little minute or two. And I find it really intriguing what he has to say in this one. So let's go ahead and get to where Mr. Rogers pulls up on panel. Trevor Lee was actually on the news too. For those of you that don't know, this was one of the interviews that he was doing. It's Volunteers Aid in the Search for Sebastian. That was Trevor Lee was out there during that time. Again, this interview is from March 27th that we're going to watch. This is all under fair use. This is for commentary purposes. This is for education of how misinformation spreads intentionally through creators, unfortunately, the biological father of a missing child, and so forth.
What did I do? This guy's on the news. It's a star. Oh.
This is Trevor Lee, not T-Rev. This is Trevor Lee.
Oh, there he is. I'm gonna take
Not here.
Let me take John Wayne off of the
John Wayne.
What's up, man?
Another day,
Another day, tired, wore out.
I think. I am.
Yeah. So are
I'd
you
like to answer the question that was asked. I'd like to start it off with that to begin with. My son never told me that stuff. My son never told me what was going on in that house. If he had told me what was going on in that house, he never would have left mine, period.
So one thing he admits right off the gate, again, this is in March, he admits that he was never told by Sebastian that anything nefarious or these abuse allegations, he'd never been told any of this.
who asked the question?
Miss Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, the people are just
If I had known that my son was being abused mentally, physically, socially, no.
Again, in case anybody is coming in, this is the lab interview from March 27th. The last one we looked at was from March 21st.
No. He would have been in my house last year. And I just enrolled him in a different program.
yeah.
But interesting, a week previous to this, he said that he had given him a year to get himself together. Interesting.
Yeah. Look, yeah. I don't think there's always somebody that's going to say something, but I don't think that people, I know that it never once crossed my mind to think like, why is he letting him in this in this situation. And because he didn't, I mean, it just, I never thought that one time. So I'm sorry that somebody asked that. That was not cool to, no.
It's not cool to ask the biologic father reasonable questions. Okay.
Is that don't take offense to it. It just makes me hurt a little bit more because my son didn't tell me.
Sure. So, I mean, so this is probably just a lot for you. This is a lot for you to digest. And I know that you found out some things probably in the last 48 hours that haven't been easy to digest, I'm sure. But the focus remains the same, you know, right?
Find my son.
Find your son. Yeah. And are there going to be some volunteers coming out tomorrow?
Hope so.
Yeah. Where are you guys? I mean, like, where do you get your? I'm just wondering, where do you get your tips and stuff from, or is it just?
Where do you get your tips and stuff from?
Just places that maybe. How do you kind of come up with the locations?
I've got people on the internet.
Like Donna Serafina, Reverend Donna Serafina, who is calling and giving him tips because of her visions, you know, like we watched yesterday. Tips like that, you know, other random strangers on the internet sending him tips off of visions.
People send a lot of things to my sister, to my mom, to other people that are helping me on some of these Facebook pages. And they come into me. I go through them all, and it's before when it was just me, it was like, well, I know what I'm doing today.
Yeah, because I think that
he's got a team of people on social media, but he doesn't have social media, right, MK?
I mean, besides the actual searching itself, kind of just coming up with a place to search has to be difficult in and of itself.
You ain't going to get blocked for saying he's a red flag. That's why we're going over this, Buttercup. You ain't going to get blocked. You guys are adults. I just don't want any heavy allegations about like he did something, you know, nefarious that we don't have proof of. But his red flags, there's plenty of proof. I mean, we're on, what is this, part 8? I think it's part 8. There's red flags all over the place. And we have barely touched the interviews yet. Like, we're just getting into it. You won't get blocked for saying stuff like that.
I mean, you want to search wherever you can search, but you know, without any concrete leads, it is kind of difficult.
Because I don't get the leads from that TBI and them get.
Right.
You know, I tell people, if you have leads, tell TBI. They can go search them. My sister, she gets leads from people. She sends them to me. I send them to TBI.
Right.
Same point in time, I turn around and tell TBI, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here.
It sounds like that.
But last week when he was on the lab in yesterday's show, I'm not talking about last week. I'm talking about the week previous to this interview, which would have been around the 20th of March, when he was on Josh's panel, the one we reviewed last night. He said that law enforcement was doing so much. They were doing great. He was really impressed with law enforcement. If you think back, man, how a week has changed. But by this time, he now has T-Rev 757 has started covering the case. The lab, Trevor Lee, Chloe the PI is involved. Pascal is involved. Justin on TikTok is covering it. There's BHB. Like, the team started to kind of, over that week, JLR was on the ground covering it. Terry Lynn. Now things are starting in between the lab's interview, the last one we saw, and this one. Another big piece to note that took place was Terry Lynn did that private phone call with Chris Proudfoot and recorded it intentionally for Nina for court.
You're very
Originally, it was on members only, and then she finally released it publicly the day of his court hearing.
I have a sister that I'm very close with as well. It seems like that your sister's really, really, really there for you.
She's a bully.
Is she your only sister?
Yeah, she is.
Do you have brothers?
No.
So it's just you two.
Yes.
And is she older than you?
Yes.
It's just like me and my sister, dude, just like that.
She's somewhere between 40 and 52, but older than me.
My sister's somewhere between 40 and 50 as well, but older than me for sure. That's funny. Yeah, my sister's a bully too, but she still thinks she can tell me what to do. And she still does. And I still listen to it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's like Chris calling up or Chris telling me that I need to curb my sister or he's going to step on her toes. I was like, good luck.
When did he say that?
When he found out she started the GoFundMe.
3 days after Sebastian went missing on February 29th. I mean, they had already started a private Facebook group on February 27th that the sister and a few other people that are in his circles helped.
What business is that of his?
Oh, it isn't. And he's right. We had an agreement that I wouldn't start a GoFundMe and him and Katie wouldn't start a GoFundMe.
Stargazer.
Why?
There he goes, admitting that there was an agreement that nobody would start a GoFundMe.
Can you tell me why you guys had that agreement?
Something about not making money off of Sebastian's disappearance.
Wow.
Didn't want people to think that, him disappearing was people trying to make money.
Profitable. You didn't want people thinking that Sebastian disappearing was profitable for any of you. I mean, yeah, that kind of gives the wrong optics, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, especially when he states that he requested a leave of absence and his coworkers donated PTO time to cover his leave of absence. So he wouldn't have gone without pay. So he wouldn't have needed the additional funds for living purposes.
And my sister asked me about the GoFundMe. I was like, I don't care. Just don't include my son in on it. Because I'm not trying to get anything from my son missing. But I am trying to find my son. And she was like, okay. I don't have social media, so I didn't.
Again, I don't have social media. Let's see if we can find an interview in this whole series that he doesn't say that in. That's going to be the more shocking thing.
Even know how a GoFundMe works.
And so he called you and said,
no, I was.
Oh, Squids, did somebody find his little merch store that he's got Sebastian posted all over? Did somebody find that? There's a lot of stuff, y'all. There is a lot.
Oh, he said that to you face to face.
Yeah. I mean, it was his prerogative.
Well, I mean, I disagree, but if that's how you feel, good for you. I mean, I don't know.
People do stuff that you want them to do.
By the way, if you want t-shirts, if you actually want t-shirts with Sebastian's face, Katie designed a shirt. That number I can get for you guys. Again, it's on Duchess's page. You can go find it. The shirts, there's no profit. Nobody's profiting off of it. They are the cost of the shirt. They're $22 for small, medium, and large. Every X is an additional $1, and then you'll have to pay shipping, I think, to wherever you are. But there's a phone number. Katie and Chris do not get a single penny of that money whatsoever. It's just for awareness of Sebastian. There's no money being gained from that, but she designed a t-shirt with Sebastian's face on it. So if anybody would like that, I can get you the phone number. You call the company directly. They're a local business who is doing this.
Every clue.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
know,
Sweet, thank you.
it's like I told Jonathan, I don't care who comes and helps me search for my son, as long as you're helping.
Like I told Jonathan, Jonathan is JLR. JLR, who is directly contacted and asked by Seth to come help get the word out and film him. Oh, y'all, hold on. There's a bunch of you coming in. Let me show it one more time. All right, because you guys keep saying it's a shirt. It's not a shirt, it's a dress. Okay, here. One more time. It's just a dress, y'all. It's hot as hell here. Okay. Thank you for all the compliments, though. You guys are too sweet.
Helping me search for my son.
sure.
You know, I know that Jonathan has a past. I'm in law enforcement.
I know Jonathan has the past. Isn't it ironic for not having social media, you know who JLR is and about JLR's past? Isn't that kind of shocking? To me, it is. But it wouldn't be if you're the type to follow the propaganda pushing machine like JLR. And what his coverage is if you have YouTube. I mean, YouTube is social media, but he admits that he's had YouTube. But I have a feeling that he knew who JLR was.
You know, I'm around murderers,
Before this.
rapists every day.
Or yes.
And I hope that they change. They may not get a chance to go back and out into society because their sentence is long, but I'm not there to punish them. I'm there to make sure they're abiding by policy. I'm there to make sure that they stay safe too. Jail's not a safe place.
That can be true. I agree with that because unfortunately a lot of correctional officers, a lot of chaplains, a lot of people that work in the prison system don't treat inmates very humanely. A lot of COs that I've known have control issues, and that's just saying that's my experience.
I don't
Right.
judge them for what
Not for me being in jail, but just from the people that I know that have been correctional officers.
they've done. They've already been judged. That's why they're there.
Well, there is no doubt that like, these shows, these podcasts can garner
Yeah, and he's in jail, not a prison.
a lot of attention for the right reasons, the wrong reasons, but and can get people, you know, your son's face out all over the world. There's no question about that. And that people with platforms, you know, I mean, we all have a responsibility. There's no doubt about it. I think that people do genuinely want to help, and sometimes people butt heads. You know, I mean, this is a high stress situation, no question about it. Especially for you, your family.
It's nice to hear him admit that he has a responsibility. I don't know exactly what that is in his world because he doesn't seem very responsible with content that he puts out, but hey.
The searchers. I mean, it's a very, very high stress situation. And so, you know, I'm not here to bag on anybody, but yeah, I think people just want to help, you know. I think for the most part people are pretty genuine, you know, when they want to help. And I mean, anybody that shows up seems that way, you know. I don't know. I can't tell people's intentions. I've always had a problem with that, you know. It's trying to, so I don't even really bother with that other than just letting
No one to life. I'm not throwing his past in his face. All right. I told him to himself that his past doesn't matter to me.
Sure, right.
You know, I would never throw somebody's past in their face unless you like stab me. Then I might throw that in your face. Like
Sure.
stab.
Understandable.
You don't throw people's past in their face. You don't throw people's past in their face. Meanwhile, what have you done to your ex-wife and her husband?
I'd be upset about that too.
Yeah, that might hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure. I understand.
and I wasn't there when he was booted off the property. I wasn't there when Dolly was there. I knew Dolly was coming down. I wanted to actually meet him.
He knew Dolly was coming down. Isn't it ironic?
But I wasn't even informed of that stuff had happened until afterwards.
Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You got enough to worry about.
We need a quick little reminder.
And isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
That was our theme song
You know,
for the longest time.
you got enough to worry about. You need to focus on the searches and the finding your son. You know, I mean, that's not really for you to. I don't think that's really for you to square away. I mean, unless that's something you wanted to do, but you don't need.
Yes, this is March 27th. He met JLR around the 21st of March.
That extra stress.
You know, my only thing about some of this stuff is that if you're gonna help search, it's like it's really hard to cook an omelet with a phone in your hand.
Sure.
You know, I know how hard it is right now with my shoulder fucked up. I'm sorry. Can I even cuss on here?
You can.
Cool.
Hey,
My
Jess.
shoulder's fucked up, and it's hard enough for me to drive, do half the things that I was doing. So yeah, you know, kind of fucking sucks. You know?
Have you? So you've had a shoulder injury before?
No, this is kind of new.
Meanwhile, there's mention of injuries in his divorce paperwork, but that's just factual speaking. He talks about his back and stuff. Could it be a new injury? Could it be an exacerbated injury? Yeah.
And is that from search? That's from being out there and searching.
Got a knot about yay big in the back underneath my shoulder blade. And it's just, I need to increase the amount of water I'm drinking.
At this point in time, it was just a knot. Oh, fancy seeing you in there in ICU. Shocker. ICU, the one that likes to stalk families and mods for all these people. Oh, I see you. What? We all see you. I see you.
Which is blasphemy.
Brain
but
record.
Do you drink
drink
what kind of coffee? You drink black coffee?
yeah,
You ever drink it iced?
no.
As soon as I came halfway out of my mouth, I was like, this guy's gonna call me a fruit here in a second. I like iced coffee. I can't help it. I'm not.
Wrong.
I know. That was a dumb question.
Towards like the coffee is cold in my coffee cup.
Do you like iced coffee? No. Don't ever say anything like that to me again.
I don't even drink.
Why do you think he invited the worst of the worst who did the worst of the worst? It's not shocking, people. Like, there is definite intent here.
Ice in my sweet tea. It dilutes.
What if it's not cold?
Then it's warm tea, and I should be drinking coffee.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Party back in 1776 for that shit.
All right, for my political friends, you can start seeing a little bit of his alignments here. Again, I don't care about your political beliefs. It is what it is. That's here nor there. But he starts showing some of his more extreme nature and where he aligns politically. And that, to me, makes sense why he would contact people like JLR, Dolly, BHB.
Yeah, well, it wasn't sweet tea then, but it was on its way at least. So, so these things, you know, obviously, the last couple of days have been tough. Going forward, I mean, is there searches planned? You have searches planned? What, like Thursday?
Hey, Kay.
And Friday?
There's supposed to be searches planned every day.
Every day. Okay.
Every day until we find my son.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's and meeting at this basically the same place every day.
Yes, sir.
And then you guys just kind of go from there. But you're not advertising where you're searching because you want a kind of a contained search. Is that the reason for the organization?
They're not telling me where they're searching because now that they have come in, you know, from my understanding, they really didn't want me out there to begin with, which is.
Oh, wait. Did he just admit once again? Sorry, my wash machine's off balance, obviously. Did he just admit that they didn't want him out there searching, but Katie and Chris have been dragged through the mud? Again, this is March 27th is the date of this interview. But you notice how he admits multiple times that they weren't wanted out there searching.
Which is policy. I mean,
policy.
It's policy for me not to be out there. I'm emotionally attached to the case.
Whoa.
Mm.
You know, they're worried. Law enforcement is worried that I'll fuck up a scene. That, you know, I find my son and, you know, but I know what my job duties are. You know, I know what they are, but at the same point in time, my son's out there. He's probably cold, probably hungry, lost, doesn't know where the hell he's at. I need to fucking find him. It's I'm not torn.
So he's still speaking on Sebastian at this point in time on March 27th of that he is still hopeful that he's alive. I'm pointing that out for a reason.
Between my profession and the fact that I'm a dad, I know what policy is. I know the correct procedures and stuff like that. But what do you think my son's going to do if he sees me after 30 days of not seeing me, being out there on the streets, not knowing where he's at? He's going to run to me, and it would break my fucking heart to tell him not to touch me.
Yeah, look, man, I completely understand. That makes sense.
I mean, seriously though, if you're out there searching and you come across your missing child and the child runs, come on now. Come on. Some of this is just overdone.
That's why they wouldn't want parents of missing children on the scene just in case something like that happens. I remember in the JonBenet Ramsey case, I'm not getting into who did what but
Remember that
Spiritual, yep. He did. Yep. And that will be in one of the upcoming interviews.
case. I guess that really makes me fucking old.
it makes me old too. But
But I'm older than you.
a little bit, not a lot.
Hey, earlier you're like, oh yeah, I'm way younger than him.
No, I said you're younger than me.
Oh, but I'm not. I'm older than you.
I just thought you were younger than me because I was like, it seems that I'm getting to the point where like everybody that I meet now, I'm older than.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it does get that way. Like, Trevor, what are you, 22, Trevor?
Yeah.
Like,
There you go. He acknowledges his age.
people be like, oh yeah, that's a kid. It's like, it's not really a kid though. Like 22 is not a kid, but to me, I mean,
When I'm his age, it is.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm looking and I'm like, how old are you? And you hear the two come out of his mouth and you're like, man, you're still wet behind the ears.
Well, that may be true. There's no question about that. But everybody, you get tired of hearing that though, right, Trevor? Be honest.
Yes. I'd like to interrupt for a moment.
Please do.
Nicole B, there actually is. There is a reward
Nicole asked about the reward fund. Listen to what he says now.
fund set up, and I can get it for you. I've got it somewhere in my text messages, and I will share it to Trevor.
I think I've got it somewhere.
Do you?
I believe so. Let me dig for it real quick.
Because it is an attorney actually in Nashville, and if you donate to it, it's not really, well, you donate to it. He prefers checks. You go in, you give him a receipt. You go in, you give him the money, he gives you a receipt, and then he puts it into an escrow account. Right now, it's at $3,500.
So how it got to $3,500, to what I understand, is there was promise to pays. I don't know if there was actual checks that were mailed in or not, but there was supposedly these promise to pays. Well, the reward fund is non-existent because the attorney himself had been in some shady business in the past too. There is no reward fund. That is null and void. There is nothing.
But unfortunately, particular family decided to tell people not to donate because we had people that wanted to donate, $1,000, $2,000 to the reward, and they told them not to donate. I've already called. I spoke to the attorney. He told me the process, and so there is an actual fund already set up.
Okay.
Josh, you want?
But we found out just a couple days ago when he goes on T-Rev 757s just recently, like a week ago, that that's not even true. And there's still, to this day, again, this was March 27th, there's still nothing. And then they started talking about needing an organization and they were going to set up this and that. It became so much more complicated.
If I share my screen for a second, I've got it all pulled up.
No, go ahead.
As long as we don't have to see the John Wayne, we're good.
For the record, I didn't pull that up.
The John. So So this is the reward fund. To add to the reward fund, Sebastian Rogers checks must be mailed or dropped off to reward fund for Sebastian Rogers, James Bryan Lewis, 1300 Division Street, Suite 307, Nashville, Tennessee 37203. All donations will be held in an escrow account. So there's the answer to that. Very cool. Yeah.
I've seen zero confirmation of anybody paying Seth for an interview. I have not seen any proof that that's factual, just so everybody's aware. And as soon as that changes, I'll let you guys know. The other thing, I have not found proof that Michaela and Julia, the dog handler, are related. I have not seen any proof of that yet either. So just a couple things.
I am surprised it hasn't been promoted a little bit more, but there's a lot of there's just a lot going on.
And please do not donate to this. If you see this now, this is way after the fact. Again, this stream that we're reviewing is from March 27th, but please do not send money to this, anything to do with this.
Seth,
hyperlink to it?
What's that?
So I said, is there a way to make a hyperlink to it? I got to figure this stuff out.
Probably.
Just left me back in the VCR age.
Oh, okay. Let me see if
I'm in chat know what a VCR is.
Yeah, it's a video cassette recorder. And I have
a
Rescuers Down Under on VHS. Good one. You remember that one?
I watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, okay?
That's a good one too. Broomsticks.
Actually, one of the last movies I watched with my son, and I thought he wasn't going to like it, but he actually sat there and watched the whole thing and enjoyed every moment of it.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I think my kids would probably hate it, but they have terrible taste. That's what I tell them.
They're your kids. Their tastes are partly yours.
Well, that's why they have terrible taste.
I have wonderful taste. Except for in females, because I don't know what happened.
Heather Dawn, yes. Anything over $600, yes.
I was going to tell you.
Side of me that normally people don't see. The delusional, exhausted, and don't really have much of a thought process tonight.
But you got to blow off some steam, right? I mean, what are you going to do? You got to blow some steam off. I get in those moods too, constantly. Trust me, the chat hates it. Like sometimes I'll be like, do a lab after dark, and I'm just like, why am I here right now? And then people are like, oh, Josh is in a bad mood. It's amazing that people can tell that you're bad mood. Somebody said we've seen it. Yeah, Josh, you seem off today. See, somebody just said in the chat, Josh, you seem off today. I'm not off. This is how I usually am. Off. Josh, you're off today. Great. Now I feel bad.
The Wanderer, is that what? Yes. A few things, like fishing, going to the grocery store, cooking, but most often it is discussion around video games.
Let me see here. No, it's not
600 total. If you receive over $600 a year in your PayPal, Cash App, anything, you'll get a 1099 after. I think that just started.
Not that I'm off. It's just that this situation it's perplexing and it's difficult to kind of navigate. I mean, with the emotions going on and people trying to help, people feeling kind of,
you're welcome,
pushed back on, and it's just I'm trying to toe the line here.
Am I remarried? Please. I learned the first time. Can't you tell?
Okay. You heard that sly little dig right there?
Just let it out. Just let it out, man. Can't you tell? I can't. I'm getting hammered here. So let's see. Can you put that in the chat again, Linda, and I'll pin it for you?
Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just a conversation with friends. So,
well, not crazy by crazy lady. I had an 8-track player in my first vehicle.
Yeah, so you definitely are older than me. That's true. Because I never.
Okay.
I never had one of those.
Well, I feel sorry for you.
Well, you should. You should feel
I
sorry.
really feel sorry when I bought my truck and found out there wasn't a CD player in it.
What was it? Just like a USB plug-in?
It is. Yeah, it's got one of those. It won't even charge my phone though.
Well, then
It sucks because
I would
you
take
have
the whole car back.
to charge my phone.
I would take the whole thing back. It's all tainted.
We are sped up a little bit, you guys. I'm sorry. This one is really like, it's not very informative as far as like, we're not going to learn a whole lot, but I think it's important to see the decline in how things have happened and the emotions that were present in the beginning versus what they are now.
It's already paid for and there's no refund.
Well, that makes sense. You got to pay for a car. So I had a brief conversation with Chris the other day, asking him why he hasn't been in contact with you.
Isn't it interesting? So Josh is behind the scenes attempting to question Chris about Chris's relationship with Seth.
His answer was that he hasn't heard from you and that his phone, he knows that my phone is always on. And so take that for whatever it is. That was his response to my question. When I saw your News Nation piece come out, that's what
I'm pretty sure that probably upset him a little bit, but it's the truth. But my whole thing is that I'm out looking for my son. If you don't want to come help me, you don't want to come help me. I'm not going to ask.
Right. I hear you on that, man.
You don't hear me sitting here asking everybody for help. Why do I have to call you personally?
It's a good point. I thought that your interview with Brian Enton was very, like all your interviews, it was straight to the point. It was
Too old, beat around the bush. That got me in trouble anyways. It did get me the best thing in the world though. Now I just got to find it.
Yeah, I think you are. I really do. I really do think that you're going to find him. And I said this when the first time that we talked. I believe that you'll be the reason that he's found. And because I don't know if Chris and Katie are looking for Sebastian. They say that they have, but it doesn't feel that way to me. And like I said, I don't want to rail against them because it's just not appropriate for me to do that. But
a lot of people think that they're guilty. I've seen some of the comments, but my profession says that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Isn't that ironic that he states this? Meanwhile, he doesn't correct him that they were told not to search, that him and Chris searched together. He doesn't correct the misinformation, but then he rolls into a lot of people think they're guilty. But in my profession, sir, in your profession, is it common for you to help target and paint a narrative that's based off of misinformation? Asking for myself.
And that even comes to when it comes to my son.
I guess we can say if you're Chris McDonough in law enforcement like that, then yeah, painting narratives against people is pretty common, in my opinion. So maybe that's his inspiration for his law enforcement career. I don't know. Can't stand that dumbass either.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's not what you know or it's not how you feel. It's just what you can prove and where, the first step is finding Sebastian, and then hopefully everything gets squared away from there.
I've said that there's a missing piece of this puzzle, and I figured out what the missing piece is. It's what I'm looking for. Once I find Sebastian, we'll know everything. We'll know what happened.
Yeah, I agree.
God willing, he's alive and well, and he can verbally tell us.
Let me ask you about that really quick. His conversation, was he able to communicate just rather well? Like he could speak fine and all that kind of stuff, comprehend things?
Yes, there have been many times that I've got compliments from teachers about his vocabulary.
Kim, the zip code on the flyer, the green flyer, is that what you're talking about? It's not a Nashville zip code. Well, thankfully, this is not even correct. Like there is unfortunately no reward fund at all. Oh, that's interesting, Kim. Thanks for pointing that out. Huh. I wonder if it was just a typo.
usage and his wide range of vocabulary to begin with.
Yeah.
I taught him how to read. I taught him how to write. I taught him. I was given a lot of shit because his first book that I ever bought for him was a dictionary. And I told him,
So Sebastian's first book was a dictionary that Seth bought him. He taught him how to read. He taught him how to write. But didn't we hear him complain about the California school system only teaching him the letter S?
if you read this from cover to back, you'll be smarter than half the people out here.
Right. Right.
And he didn't take me up on it. So
I don't blame him one bit. Comic books
Y'all, Nana's not drunk. You're talking about the tip line that they set up. That Google number links back to a place in Colorado.
are way better. That is a straight up dad move. So I mean, you are a certified old father like me. That's what, like I told you, my kids tell me all the time. They're like, "You're like 50, dude. You're like 50."
somewhere between 40 and 50. Leave me alone.
Well, no, that's what they would say to me. But yeah, just knowing, you're just, we're about the same age. Trevor's the young one here. He's the problem.
That's
Showing
because
up with his youth and good looks and stamina,
Wow.
good blood pressure.
What's that like?
Yeah, whatever, dude. Oh, I'm Trevor. I have good blood pressure.
All right.
What's that like?
Guys, my friend Josh complimented it. Oh, what do you say? That I have good blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
Just to correct everybody, it says that the 37203 zip code encompasses the following neighborhoods of downtown Nashville: Music Row, Edge Hill, Vanderbilt University, West End Circle, the Gulch, and Wedwood, and Houston. Just so everybody, but that doesn't really matter anyways, because that's null and void to begin with. So just so everybody's aware.
Someone's got to clip that, please.
I'm sure it'll get clipped. Seth, did Sebastian like any sports?
At one point in time, he did.
Baseball, right?
Actually, no.
No guns.
We were in
You're okay, Kim. You're totally fine. It's null and void anyways. Totally fine.
California for 9 years, and I was teaching him how to play soccer.
Oh, okay. Soccer.
Yeah. Well, I tried to stay away from anything that might actually get him hit in the head by any hard or fast objects, because he has a pocket of fluid on the right bilateral part of his brain.
Again, let me be honest. There's certain places that when you play soccer, you cannot use your head. As a youth soccer coach, we didn't allow kids to use your head. But there is still balls flying extremely hard through the air at people's heads. I don't quite understand this here. Soccer makes no sense, Marcy. Yeah. Would make no sense if you're trying to avoid a head injury. Truthfully, it's not. It's very, very physical.
And the last thing I wanted is him to get a head injury from a fastball, a baseball bat. Football was definitely out of the question. He's too scrawny for that anyways.
Right. Well, was he born with that?
Yes, he was.
And what is that attributed to? Is it just genetics or what?
It's 6q27 chromosomal deletion syndrome,
Okay.
which leads to a lot of birth defects.
Okay.
Like when he was born in 2008, there was 8 recorded cases of this.
Interesting. Okay.
There wasn't a lot of research on it because there wasn't no money in the research. So
did he have epilepsy?
no, thank God.
He never had seizures or anything growing up?
Have seizures. I potty trained him 6 times. It was just like he would go to bed and
He potty trained him 6 times. The reason why I'm pointing that out is because that changes into he didn't have issues at his house down the road, as you guys have heard. Again, listen to what he says. He.
the doctor stated that he thought that maybe he was having the seizures in his sleep.
Yeah.
But he grew out of it. I mean, the doctor was like, they don't do anything. It's just like a little reset. Oh, I saw it many a times.
And he would have the tonic-clonic seizures, the shaking and stiffness.
Well, no, I saw the after effects because, I think a couple times we thought that maybe he was having a seizure
Yeah.
but it was kind of like an absent-mindedness.
Uh-huh.
Then he was sitting there, he would be watching TV or doing something, and then he would just stop.
And there is such things called absence seizures. I'm not giving medical advice, but those do exist too.
They're off into space.
Yeah, they're called absent seizures. Yeah.
But then you could
Josh got something
snap your
right.
fingers, get his attention, and he'd come back to you. But there was times that he would go to bed, and when he woke up the next morning, you could just tell that he had no clue what happened for the last couple months.
Really? Yeah. They call that what is that?
Okay, so that's concerning. That would be highly concerning.
It's like after you have a seizure, I can't remember the name, but it's a state that you go into, and it takes a while. You don't know. My oldest son has seizures, and so he that would happen to him, but he was very it took him a while to just get his wits about him. You know what I mean? Like a good half hour to hour. Postictal, that's what it's called, a postictal state. Correct. Thank you, Cat H. So it's a fog, kind of what you're describing there. So, but kids grow out of seizure activity a lot. Like it's like 70-80%. Like kids when they get older, they tend to grow out of it. So that's very tough to deal with. So he and you said, and when was he diagnosed with autism?
Late last year.
And before that, what was he treated for? Like, what was his diagnosis before that?
Besides the chromosomal deletion, which was done at like 6 months old, they just went and diagnosed him as having ADHD.
It seems like a fairly simple diagnosis, especially for but I mean, I'm sure that did he have that as well? I mean, was that something that he does have? Is it something that's still active with him?
What, the ADHD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that make him act? Like if that's acting up, is it just as described? You just hyper and can't pay attention?
Boy.
Yeah. Just hyper, right?
Yeah.
Did he shake his leg? Was he anxious? Did he ever get anxious? Anything?
Yeah.
Did he ever express to you that he was anxious?
You could just tell with his behavior.
Yeah.
And for those of you that seem to be autism experts and continue to say it's not common for people to not be diagnosed early on, that's not factual. A lot of people aren't diagnosed until their late teens, some adults. It varies in person to person.
How would you so this is just a hypothetical. So say somebody comes across Sebastian, and he's scared or disoriented or whatever it is. What would be the best way to help him to calm down until help gets there? I mean, you know him better than anybody.
A calm, soothing voice.
And he will respond to his name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't stupid by any means.
No, I wouldn't imagine so, especially somebody that gets that many
He is not stupid.
kills on Call of Duty.
He still hasn't matched mine.
Oh, he will. He will. He's got plenty of time.
I mean, he's definitely got an advantage while my arm is hurting. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody had a question here.
Kind of an odd comment. He's still got an advantage while my arm's hurting.
Eric says, does Seth have any thoughts on Chris saying, Ellie told me not to talk about it on certain questions? Any thoughts on that at all?
I have another phone right here next to me. It doesn't have service, but I love using my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
You said Eric.
So it goes from the last interview where he talks about the phone. Now the phone only has Wi-Fi access. Okay.
What's that? I talk to law enforcement. I know what I can and cannot discuss. And so far, you guys really haven't asked me very many questions that I can't discuss.
Sure, I understand that. Makes sense.
You know,
So you just maybe that's more at his discretion than anything else.
well, I don't know what they tell him. I know what they tell me.
And that's not something that you're able to tell us, correct?
Nope.
Got it. Let me see. Seth, I hope you feel the love the world feels for Sebastian and you. Your heart is shining through. That's true.
A lot of these names that he pops on the screen, I just roll my fucking eyes because they have done nothing but help further spread misinformation.
Agree. I did find it a little odd that Chris did mention that he didn't take a polygraph, and I think that's odd. Although polygraphs, I know that polygraphs they're not typically admissible in court, but they are used as a tool.
Well, in court.
Yeah, and nobody ever asked you to take one, correct? I mean, that's because obviously you were of your proximity and where you were at the time.
I mean, I volunteered. I was like, okay, so you gave her one. When do I go take mine?
Hmm.
And they never even responded to me. Like, you know how that annoying child gets ignored at the Christmas party? That's how I kind of felt.
Yeah.
So now, a week after he's stating that law enforcement is ignoring him, we've also heard more recent, again, this is back to March 27th, but in the interview we listened to last night from March 21st, he stated that law enforcement was doing a good job. But then Tony on TikTok recently stated that Seth was asked to do things by law enforcement in the beginning to earn trust, and he refused to do them. And that's kind of how his relationship was non-existent, but now he's comparing himself to an annoying child at a Christmas party. Okay.
No, that's it. So what'd you think of old Trev when you met him the first time?
I was wondering why the wind blew the trash into the park. Hi, partner.
Now that's funny.
I only talked to him for like 5 hours today.
I was gonna say we only spoke for the whole day.
5 hours. Jeez.
Yeah, I made sure he left his phone over there by his car.
Yeah, no streaming for him. Yeah, that's definitely not Trevor's MO. He's a very, him and I met through another case out of Tennessee. And
I don't know. I mean,
what's that?
Britt asked the question: does mom usually take Sebastian out to do so many things like the day prior? I don't know.
How do you not know? I'm sorry, I gotta say this, but how do you not know what goes on in the other parent's house? Do you not talk to your children and ask, like, what'd you guys do this weekend? What'd you do last week? Have you done anything fun? Like, maybe I'm just I am annoying when my kids will tell you I am up their ass and annoying as hell. I know.
I really don't ask about their days because I don't really get an answer anyways. And then Sebastian doesn't really like to talk about what he does at his mom and stepfather's, and I kind of figure out why now.
Oh, right.
Mohawk Mom, does Sebastian also have a nickname? First of all, I named him. All 4 names, I named.
Pay attention right here.
Him.
I'm having trouble here. Much better. Sorry.
Hitting
All
all the buttons.
all 4 of them.
All 4 of them. So, Wayne, Drake, Rogers.
Where'd the Dwayne Drake come from?
The Wayne?
Or the Drake?
The Wayne is my dad's name.
Okay.
But wait. I thought you told somebody else who told the internet that that's not.
And Drake is because he's always been my little dragon.
Interesting. That's cute.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Definitely way before some music person thought they could call themselves Drake. Okay.
That makes sense.
Star T, the reason he seems like a normal boy is I didn't raise him like he had a defect.
Yeah.
He didn't have a defect. People see it. Some people see it as a defect. Me, he's special.
It's just who he is. He's yeah.
That completely goes against what he has said about the names to other people in private. He says that Wayne's his dad's name. And Drake is because that's his dragon. Okay. He doesn't mention that his nickname is Bubba.
I raised him like I would raise my next child. No, that's not an offer.
Mm. Thank God.
As for a nickname, it just depends on what he's done today to get himself one of the many nicknames that I have for him.
Oh.
So
Some I like to call him Sharkbait, and he don't.
Shark
Wow.
bait.
why shark bait?
Exactly.
Shark bait. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Nemo?
Finding Nemo,
You never watched Nemo?
and he had a VR. Shit.
Probably 18 years ago was the last time I saw Finding Nemo.
What's a classic part though?
I don't remember.
They were in the aquarium. They were having the ritual.
Yeah, they were having the ritual with all of them inside the aquarium, and then shark bait. Shark bait. You see?
Harlot, he has claimed that the other names were from terminated pregnancies, but that's not factual. That story was never factual.
I remember.
JC wants to know. Let me ask you this question. Hi, Josh and Seth. I have a question. Was Sebastian a child who enjoyed going a lot of places? One day, referring to Sunday, and prayers for you. You're a wonderful man.
I think she's hitting on me. I'm not sure.
It's hard to tell through text. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, it's hard to tell when they're right in front of you too.
That's true too. I assume everybody's disgusted by me.
Pretty much. That's how I feel.
That's just the basis I go off.
Both with no oars. Okay, Josh.
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't really pay attention to what they're doing because Sebastian doesn't really tell me. Now, there's days that when he's with me, we might go to the store, we might go over to the game shop to play D&D, play Magic the Gathering.
D&D is referring to Dungeons and Dragons.
Go fishing. I mean, there's a lot of things we might do throughout the weekend, but I like to do one or two things. Like if I got to go to the grocery store, then we're going to the grocery store. That's normal. After that, if he wants to go out to eat, I'll take him out to eat. If he wants to go play at the playground and it's not cold outside, then I'll take him to the playground. I mean, a lot of when I have him on my weekends, we pretty much do whatever he wants to do.
And what is it that he typically wants to do? What, like a normal child wants to play video games? Yeah.
He wants to play on his Switch,
Yeah.
watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Naruto, whatever he have, or NCIS. He really likes NCIS.
He likes the show NCIS.
Yeah. He says I'm good.
I was gonna say he must be a Gibbs fan because I can see him liking Gibbs. Who doesn't like Gibbs though, right?
Right.
NCIS is a legit show. I've watched it with my grandma before, right after the Waltons. So I have to force myself to wake up to watch NCIS.
Right after the Waltons.
Not only do people play Dungeons and Dragons, but I think they still cosplay. Like there's still conventions and stuff around that.
Yeah, dude, the Waltons are legit. Huh? I like them. I watch them sometimes. Let me see here. See if we can.
Was I?
Talia, what I'm telling you is there was not 4 terminations. Can I be clearly stating this anymore? The rumors and the lies about the terminations are non-existent. There is one situation that I'm not going to speak on because it's nobody's business, but there was not 4. And it's nobody's business. And he lied blatantly about it.
That night? It was at work.
Who
I
asked,
work
who asked you?
for
Yeah, that's did he like puzzles?
No, you're fine. It just makes me so
he
mad.
worked on some puzzles. I mean, he liked Legos. So I would buy the single thing Legos like Batman and his spaceship or the Joker, and we would sit there and put those together.
Dude, hold on, let me get this really quick. How
What?
expensive are Legos now?
Expensive.
Dude, I remember my kids loved Legos. So we when Kmart was a thing, we would go there, and I'm surprised how expensive Legos actually were then. And imagine how much they cost now.
I'm speeding it up.
But they're supposed to last forever as long as you don't have a dog that chews on them.
Sorry, if it gets to be too jumbled and you can't understand it, I'll slow it down again, but I can barely take this.
And I do have a dog.
Or a kid that leaves them out so you step on them.
Is there any, like, there's nothing that hurts worse than stepping on Legos barefoot.
It's
I was kind of being facetious, but I get what you're saying. I'm sure there are other things.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah, it reminds me of on Home Alone when Marv comes through the window and there's like the ornaments and the Legos and the wheels and he steps on all of them. He stepped on every single one. I've always said that Kevin from Home Alone, that kid is sick. Like he's a sick person,
Well, you got to be a sick person to be trying to kill a kid, anyways.
Yeah, but he was trying to kill 2 adults.
Kill him. All fair.
All he had to do was call the cops, man. That's it. He knew they were coming.
Yeah, but remember when they first showed up, they were dressed as cops, so now you can't trust it.
That's true too. So then he decides to try and kill him.
Don't tread on me. Don't come in my house.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But then the New York thing, he just took it too far there.
Oh, you're from California, Josh.
What's that?
So we could so tell you're from California, Josh.
I'm a snowflake.
Really close to it.
No, I'm actually from I'm from a part of California that's really not that way. I'm from a county called Humboldt County up in the northern part. And I mean, we're big country, but that doesn't change the fact that Kevin was a psycho, me being from California. Yeah, he's allowed to do that.
Yes, generally, that was what supposedly Seth had told him. Again, I don't know which one of them's lying here because I wasn't privy to those conversations, but that is non-existent. Yeah. And he also mentioned some stuff on Coffindoffer too.
I bet, you know what? I think maybe one time I've had somebody say something like that, like, oh yeah, we can tell you're from California, but yeah, maybe it does show. I don't know. Trevor's from California too, San Francisco specifically.
Yeah, absolutely not.
That's what you told me once. No, you
That
didn't.
is not what I told you.
He wanted a trolley ride.
Yeah. Can we go on a trolley ride? Trevor, get out of the road. Great question. Can Sebastian swim?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boy's been swimming since he was a year old.
Okay.
It's the first thing we did.
Like a fish.
You betcha.
He mentions we in that one. First thing we did.
Interesting. Okay. And he was attracted to water.
Attracted to water?
And that's what I heard early on. I don't even know what that means. I like water too, so I don't know what that means.
They say that autistic children are attracted to water. My son, on the other hand, I don't think he was attracted to water. I think it was more like he liked to swim. We go fishing and he didn't want to touch the water because it looked nasty and dirty.
Right.
Because he doesn't like to get dirty.
And so they are operating under the not suspicion, but the assumption that he didn't have any shoes. I mean, is that something that is confirmed?
Yeah, he has no shoes. The pair of boots that I just bought him because he outgrew the last ones, and the pair.
F you know it. Yeah. Abso-freaking-lutely am biting my tongue on a lot. This is really hard.
Pair of shoes that his mom just bought him because he outgrew the other ones, and his old tennis shoes were still at the front door.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So say there was some sort of, disagreement or argument at the house and he got upset and say he said, I want to leave, which this is hypothetical. You knowing him the way that he does, I mean, would he take the time to put his shoes on?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, is that a possibility that's what happened?
Anything's possible.
Yeah. I mean, that's a weird question to ask you, but like, is that something that you put any merit into, or you don't feel that that's what happened?
I don't know, man. I really don't.
Yeah.
I wish I knew.
But up until this point, up until right now, we have heard him be very confident in his statements of he left, he left, he left. You can go back and look at the previous interviews that we've gone over. He was very specific in his wording about discussing possibilities. Yes, they were always open-ended. But when you heard him up until this point, he was very specific. He left. Now it starts to change. But you also realize that in the last week, JLR has been there. Trevor Lee has been there. He's been talking to Josh. He's been talking to Dolly. And many more.
Yeah. Hold on. And we're going to pin this at the top of the chat. Golly, hold on.
Doxy, very good question.
Yeah, I think Josh said on the red ants.
I did. I did sit on red ants. Yeah. It was horrible, dude. Like honestly, and I wasn't very old, but they got my Apple bag and everything. Thighs, legs. It was one of the worst feelings. It was like getting electrocuted, like mini electrocuted, like a little mini jolt.
He's got a pair of well, they're like Nike.
Did he really just use that term for what is wrong?
He slip on like shower shoes at my house. He wears those if he's going outside.
Mm. And do you know if he had any slippers at his mom's house?
That I don't know.
Yeah. And so if he were to just like take the trash out or something at your house, he would just put on his slippers?
Depending on where I put the trash can. If it's in the grass, he puts on his slippers.
Yeah.
Runaway truth. I also thought about a pair of slides that he could have borrowed from a friend at school and had in his backpack too. Like there's a lot of possibilities here.
He wasn't a kid that walked around the house with no shoes on, or he did?
Oh, around the house, he didn't have shoes on, but at my house, all shoes come off at the front door. Don't be tracking anything through my house. It's nasty.
Yeah. Trevor steps in dog crap a lot, so that's a good rule. Right, Trevor?
This is from March 27th.
What?
Trevor steps in dog crap on purpose.
Okay.
Anyway. I'm just kidding. But so the no shoes thing. I just keep going back to that because I keep thinking that maybe there was like an argument or something like that, and I hate to even speculate, but just the no shoes thing is just really
good speculation. But I figured speculation station.
Does Sebastian sleepwalk? Was a question.
I've never seen him sleep.
Not that you know, yeah. And
sleeping.
A little bit. Thank you for gifting a lab membership. It's very kind of you. Did Sebastian carry a flashlight everywhere, and what's it look like? Praying for you both from Texas. And honestly, you guys don't have to super chat to ask questions. I'll try and get to as many as I can, but don't feel obligated to do that, please. Go ahead.
Where are we at?
Did Sebastian carry a flashlight everywhere? And what's it look like?
My house, he's got a flashlight in his room. So, there's that. Then there's a flashlight in the hallway, and there's a flashlight on my desk. And there's a lantern light by the kitchen table. And in my truck, I carry 2 pretty much mag flashlights. So he never had to carry a flashlight with him because there's always flashlights wherever he went in my house.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Sebastian liked the beach because he didn't like the sand. It felt weird.
Look, that's something I can get behind too. Has Ellie sat down and told you what is fact versus BS?
You see that?
There it is.
See the flashlight? It's where he left it. Flashlight, done.
Wait. What did he just say? Did I hear that correctly? Hold on, we're gonna go back a second because I want to hear that again. I'm slowing it down to normal speed.
Look, that's something I can get behind too. Has Ellie sat down and told you what is fact versus BS?
That's what I think I heard too.
See that?
There it is.
See the flashlight? It's where he left it. Flashlight, gun. Because that's where he likes to literally be under his bed with the flashlight playing a switch.
That's exactly what he said. I even turned closed captioning on, and that's what it picked up. Yep. Yeah, that's what he said. Interesting. Okay.
Or reading the book. My son was weird. I loved every part of it.
Yeah, I don't.
He was just Sebastian. He
doesn't say what type, if it's a BB gun, if it's a play. He doesn't say anything about the type, but he does say that, yes.
Sebastian.
That's his room under his bed that he was showing. Again, for anybody that's looking for that, it's about the 147-minute mark in the March 27th video from the lab.
When I talked to you last time, we had talked about the glasses and
Mr. Tomato Head, he shows under the bed, but I can't zoom in on this to pull it. I'll look on my phone.
I know that there were some conflicting reports about that, but so his glasses aren't at the is that his?
No.
That's yours.
But they glow in the dark.
What's that?
I said no, but they glow in the dark. I have 2 of them. I found 2 of them the other day when I was at the corner store.
You like ducks?
No,
Just
They're
they glow in the dark.
they're green and they glow in the dark.
Sebastian. Yeah.
So
That's
one
it.
for
That was his favorite color, right?
you betcha.
Yeah.
I still find myself like I was at O'Reilly's to get oil for my truck because I've been driving a lot of miles, and I was there. And the next thing I know, I was leaving with Hot Wheels for him, and it's just like, hope I find him.
I hope so too.
Mr. Tomato Head even zoomed in. Like I went to my phone and zoomed it all the way in. It's super blurry. There's some object under the bed that I can see, but I can't tell you what it is. Sorry, just confirming that for you.
We'll do a couple more questions and we'll get out of here. Let's see. And Kelly K, thank you for gifting the memberships. That's very kind of you.
I also turned on closed captioning. You guys, if I forget to do that and it's available, please let me know because I think that also helps people when it's sped up too.
I have some. If he put on his glasses and got his flashlight, he put his shoes on, so it just doesn't make sense. I mean, that's a great point.
Well, Sebastian puts his glasses on whenever he gets up out of bed.
Yeah, right. I mean, that makes it. Are you the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
These aren't sunglasses; they're transition lens. But I put my glasses on every time I get up.
Let me see here. Speaking of flashlights, was it a Ring camera?
And again, just to mention, because I think it's important to be factual and detailed, the assumption is that he has his glasses with him.
Or neighbor who saw 2 flashlights in his backyard. What time was that? And I'm sure that you've seen the infamous lights. What has law enforcement told you about that?
That it's not flashlights.
Did they say what it was?
They said it was the trash truck. They said the one going that way was that picking up the trash, and the reason it was so fast coming back was because it was going.
And that was caught on a neighbor's camera.
Wait, what is he using on his shoulder? Oh, it must be a massager. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
That's what they said.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Debbie, what's the question, Debbie? Sorry, the chat's moving fast. It's hard to slow it down. Let me see. Okay. Seth, can a money order be sent instead of a regular check for the reward fund?
Do
you know, Trevor?
The difference is with a money order, whoever gets the order can literally cash it. So if it doesn't make it there and somebody say steals it, which mail is not really very secure nowadays.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed that it gets there.
Interesting.
Juju, yeah.
Rebecca wants to know, as far as you know, has Katie always been soft-spoken?
Thankfully, I'm just a little corner over here because my facial expressions today are probably real great because most of the time I'm like, what is even happening? This is so much. Yeah, you heard it.
I'm going to claim the 5th on that one.
All right.
I'll back that up again. Hold on. You guys heard what I heard. Let's go back a minute.
Can a money order be sent instead of a regular check for the reward fund? Do you know, Trevor?
The difference is with a money order, whoever gets the order can literally cash it. So if it doesn't make it there and somebody say steals it, which mail is not really very secure nowadays.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed that it gets there.
Interesting. Rebecca wants to know, as far as you know, has Katie always been soft-spoken?
I'm going to claim the 5th on that one.
All right. Moving on.
Josh, I am dropping the link for the lawyer that's over the reward fund, so anybody that can contact him about any further questions if they want.
You dropping it in the chat?
I'll drop it in the chat. Yeah.
Chat. That's different than the chat.
Whoa!
Chat's the chat. Private chat is the chat. Or no, wait, I'm confused.
Oh, F, yeah, he is definitely in love with Katie.
Please read my
link. I don't know why I did that.
What was it?
40 links.
Does he know if the doors in the house were locked after Katie woke? And also, did the dogs hit on his scent outside the house? Okay, so the question again, do you know if the doors in the house were locked after Katie woke up? Also, did the dogs hit on his scent outside? Now, I believe that they did hit on a scent from what Chris and Katie say. What about the do you know if the doors were locked?
One more thing I heard recently that I want to debunk right now, by the way, some professional that sits on TikTok with Truck Stop Tony over there, that whoever this professional is, he made the claim that the dogs hit on the garage. That's complete and utter bullshit. So if you've heard that, please disregard.
Like, because there was no sign of forced entry, right?
Correct. And the only thing I know about it is what Katie told law enforcement, because obviously I don't live there.
No shit.
Right.
Yeah, the dispatch call did say that the doors were locked. So that's what was reported to them originally too.
What is
Shocking.
can't see.
Hey, Arctic.
But then EMA director said they had no scent trail when he spoke to Nick Barris the other day. So no.
Don't even get me started on that gun.
Don't even get me started on that guy. And we've heard recently Tony take jabs at Nick too.
Did Katie really pass the poll? I don't think Seth. I mean, I'm sure you don't know the answer to that, correct?
Told she did.
You hope she did, but you don't have confirmation one way or the other.
No, I was told she did.
By
TBI.
Oh, that's interesting.
But then again, in my experience, from what I understood, they always tell everybody they pass.
You notice how he always has something to follow it up with? So he was told by TBI that she passed her polygraph, but there's always the but, and then he says something to unravel, or it'll be like, well, law enforcement said she passed it, but that's just junk science, like that kind of thing. Constantly says stuff like this. He's purposely, in my opinion, unraveling the facts.
Well, there you go. That's funny. That's
I'm
interesting.
sure it goes along with the investigation too. I mean, maybe it's, if it, whichever way whatever they're doing with their investigation, their answer will also kind of reflect. Because with polygraphs, it's not as much of like passing and failing. It's, if you show any sort of deception or inconsistencies, or if it's just seems good, like if you're following your baseline. So
Yeah, you can pass a polygraph for many different reasons. Seth, is it?
And this is why he associates with these people, because they're building in, just picking right up where he left on.
Fact that Katie installs home security systems, or is that false?
Yeah, she does.
And yet they claim they don't have one inside their house. I found that a little odd, but that's just me.
I'm law enforcement, so I don't have any guns.
Yeah, I bet. That's what I'm
References a gun again. He says, I'm law enforcement, but don't have any guns.
saying. I was talking about this yesterday. I said, it's like somebody working at the chocolate factory and never having any chocolate. It's just like, it doesn't make sense to me. What's that?
So that's different. I wasn't always in law enforcement.
But you always had chocolate? But
when I worked at Subway, I couldn't eat subs. When I was a manager at Pizza Hut, I couldn't eat the pizza.
Just
I was
'cause you
around.
like it? I mean, you're talking to a Subway connoisseur here, and I've never worked at Subway, and I think the reason I haven't is because that my whole paycheck would go to eating subs.
Yeah, I don't eat Subway since they put that metal thing up so you can't see the meat.
It's like they're like blocking it out. You don't want to see what you're about to eat. That's funny.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I can tell you some stories about what I've seen people do at Subway.
Yeah, the intentional misleading on what his actual job title is has always bothered me, because yes, there's that window because he falls into law enforcement under the sheriff's department, but a correctional officer and a patrol officer, a detective, anything are totally different.
Nah, I'm good.
Like, I had a buddy.
Here we go.
Came in. I know you're good, but you're going to get this one.
All right.
This is gross.
And it was his old boss from another job. And he wasn't paying attention when he asked for the meatball sub. And my buddy, his name was John Parada. And I'm a hairy guy, but he was Sasquatch. All right. And he turned around and ripped a whole handful of hair out from somewhere. And he shoved it into the sub. Turned around, wrapped it up. He had it all cut up, wrapped it up, turned around, told his boss, because I'm standing there playing arcades.
Nick, currently, I would say no.
And he turned around and he told his boss, you need to ring him up. He took his apron off, tossed the work shirt over there on the chair, put his regular shirt on, and he looked at me and he was like, I'll see you at Insomnia later. And I was like, okay. And he walked out the back door, told the guy I quit, and walked out. And I stuck around to watch the guy eat half the sub before he pulled the first hair out from between his teeth.
And he sat there and watched the guy eat it. That doesn't tell you about the maturity level of this.
No.
You should never fuck with somebody who makes your food.
That's true. But there's also a rule that says don't make ass hair subs either.
It wasn't ass hair.
Never mind. Moving on.
And yeah, that's a pretty good yeah. Walking away.
Yeah.
It was hair from the sausage.
You know, I was gonna have Subway tomorrow, but I'm gonna go forego that.
I just wanted to make sure you don't eat Subway for a while.
Well, I mean,
hey, it was fresh.
that's disgusting. Let me see. Any other? It was fresh. Can you ask if Katie was going to have to pay? I guess I can ask that. Can you ask if Katie was going to have to pay child support once Sebastian moved home with you? I think the answer to that would be typically yes. I mean,
no.
Except for I don't pay child support, so why would I ask her to?
Well, there you go.
He doesn't even pay child support.
So the answer is no.
No.
Don't pay child support now. We have a mutual agreement. If Sebastian needs something, he gets it.
Sure.
I wonder who that's benefited all these years. Pretty admirable thing for a mom that has full custody with dad having visitation to not seek child support.
Somebody said Jersey Mikes are way better. I've never had their subs either.
And Chris was
Exactly. Jersey Mikes. You can sit there and watch them as they grill the food, so you know what's going on in it. You know, there's nothing like a Philly cheesesteak with add bacon.
Jeanette said I ate Subway yesterday. Yeah, you know that's actually happened to me before. There was this we had this place called the China Buffet, and I just used to love that place until I ate there one night and everything was fine. It was no big deal.
Have you guys really learned anything about Sebastian in this interview? Honestly, give me a 1 in the chat if you've learned about Sebastian. Give me a 2 in the chat if you've learned about Seth's behavior. Just interested what you guys have to say.
And the next day I woke up to read in the paper like they got shut down for like tons of health violations, and I was like, I literally just ate there last night, and it was traumatizing, to be honest with you. It was just
hey, we want to look at Cat H.
Okay. Cat H.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. I've met my match a couple of times, but like the ball hair on the subs is that's next level for sure.
Well, I can tell you one that I did.
Oh God, I don't think you want to put that out into the ether, dude.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, fine. Do whatever you want.
All right. I worked at a place that no longer exists.
Here you go. Here's another story about how he treats people. Now, again, trigger warning if you're at lunchtime or something around food, because this will probably cure it for you. This is illegal to do to people, just so you know. There's food handling procedures and licenses. My family owned 2 restaurants when I was a kid, and I don't find any of this to be funny, even remotely. Not even. This is such a violation, and seeing his giddiness about it tells me all I needed to know. Seth has been this way all along, people. It was just masked with all of this narrative that was being shoved out here into the public sphere about Chris and Katie were so terrible. So people were so concentrated on their behavior that this got mixed right in and nobody picked up on it.
And I was a
Well, not nobody. Some people did, but very few.
manager there.
Because what you did.
No. They just went out of business.
Good idea.
But a lot of places went out of business during COVID and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But it was called Gumby's Pizza of Ohio.
It's an interesting name.
Hey, Annabelle, if you love Seth's stories about putting hair in people's food and, you know, re-victimizing his ex-wife and, you know, a bunch of misinformation about his own son, I can't help you. I guess that's your type of people.
Huh?
That's an interesting name.
Well, it was Gumby's Pizza in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, that makes sense.
Normally had one around every major college campus. And I had an ex-roommate come in that had cost me my apartment because one day he decided that he was going to walk around outside in the middle of winter with a dungy hat on, which is the old Navy white hats,
Uh-huh.
boxers, and a fucking cleaver. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't know what kind of drugs he was on, but it cost me my apartment.
He got evicted?
So I got evicted because the cops got called and the owner didn't appreciate it.
Notice that it's always somebody else's fault too.
So
There's a lot of patterns of behavior here.
I got evicted. Okay. Found me another place to live. Like 8 months goes by and he comes into my store and he was like, "Hey, how's everything going?" I was like, "How are you doing?" He was like, "I'm back on my meds." And I'm like, "Oh, nice. Great. All right." And I'm like, "So what can I do for you?" And he's like, "I want a supreme pizza." And I was like, "Okay, well, what size?" And he was like, "Large."
Annabelle,
Okay.
Annabelle. This isn't fucking JFK. No need to announce your departure. I don't give a fuck if you're taking off, coming and going. Don't give a shit. There's a missing child. And the intentional misinformation and narratives that have been pushed by his bio father, who you enjoy hearing his stories about disrespecting and victimizing people, we're not the same. Go sit with your team. I'm sure they have a spot for you.
I walked back there. 3 other people that I had hired knew him as well.
I do too.
And they lived in that apartment building. And
Chasing, when would this even fit into a time frame though? Seriously, if you think about it, because Katie was 12 and he was 10 years older when that came in. I don't know how soon they lived together, but let's just go on. Like this would have had to have been when he was in his very early 20s. Otherwise, he was married to Katie and she was at fault for all of his fuck ups. So I don't know where this fits in either.
when we all got evicted, we all took it kind of personal.
I can imagine.
So I made his pizza for him. And it had floor spice, spit, and it had hair in it.
Yeah.
And I cooked that and he ate the whole thing in my lobby. And turned around and told me it was the best pizza he ever had and ordered another one. Service with a smile, baby.
And he got you evicted. What do you want to do? I mean, what are you going to do, man? Maybe, yeah. He would still. He got you evicted. I'd have been pissed too. Floor spice. I've never heard that one before, but that's a perfect.
That's when you just drop it on the floor.
Well, I've eaten many things with floor spice on it because I've dropped them, and I don't care typically.
Yeah, not with.
Lauren, did you just hear what he said? Maybe she's behind. I won't yell at her yet.
Wet dough. That shit sticks in there, and you got to imagine.
Did you not hear what he just admitted to? Good idea, Chasen. Let's rewind it. Let's play that again.
That I had hired knew him as well, and they lived in that apartment building. And when we all got evicted, we all took it kind of personal.
I can imagine.
So I made his pizza for him.
He made it.
And it had floor spice, Spit.
It had floor spice. I wonder what that could be. Spit.
It had hair in it.
Hair.
Yeah.
And I cooked that, and he ate the whole thing in my lobby
Oh,
and turned around and told me it was the best pizza he ever had and ordered another one.
oh, but Seth didn't do that, right? Seth's just talking about somebody else's story. I think it's total bullshit, but he's admitting to him doing this.
Service with a smile, baby.
And he got you evicted. What do you want to do? I mean, what are you going to do, man? Maybe, yeah. He would still. He got you evicted. I'd have been pissed too. Floor spice. I've never heard that one before, but that's a perfect.
That's when you just drop it on the floor.
Well, I've eaten many things with floor spice on it because I've dropped them, and I don't care typically.
Yeah, not with wet dough. That shit sticks in there, and you got to imagine if you dropped it was right where you've been standing all day, and you've done walked out to the back of the building to throw trash away in the alley. All right. Yeah.
Not with wet dough.
You cooked that floor into the pizza.
Sorry again, I find nothing funny about this.
Yep.
That's too funny.
It was a stuffed crust, but it was something like it.
Oh man, well,
All right.
that's funny. That is.
Hey, I've lived several decades, so I have
somewhere
done
between 40 and 50.
Yeah. I stopped counting when I was 26.
See, Trevor, that's what you got to look forward to. Seth, we're gonna get out of here since you left us with that butte. Tomorrow, you guys are searching, and I think I have it pinned at the top. Let's see. Join the search for Sebastian tomorrow.
Oh wait, yeah, you guys were supposed to be there talking about Sebastian. You totally forgot. I mean, the title of the video was Sebastian Rogers Vanished Without a Trace with Trevor Lee.
10:30 a.m. 90 Volunteer Drive, Hendersonville, Tennessee, and that's where you guys will be meeting every day. That you're having searches every day until you find Sebastian. Trevor, are you going to be out there?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
Trevor will be out there as well. No, there is something pinned, isn't there? I can see it says pinned by the lab. I did it. I know it. I did it.
I did it.
I did it. I promise.
Carla, I think I don't know which video it is of Granny's. I couldn't tell you. But it's one of Granny's when Trevor comes on.
Is it, guys?
Yeah, well, not really, but
Trevor tells
Sorry, Michael Harrison.
what happened? What'd Michael say?
Please, no Seth.
Oh, well, it's done and gone. I mean, the genie's out of the bottle. The Pandora doesn't go back in the box, So
Nope.
there it is. All right, guys. Well, Seth, thanks for coming up, man. And I hope that everything starts to go smooth. It was really nice talking to you. You seem like a great guy, a great sense of
such a great guy, such a great sense of humor, violating other people. I mean, yeah, winner. Claps all around. I don't have a fucking annoying soundboard to hit the clap button.
humor, and I know I'm sure that shined through with Sebastian as well. You were probably always you're like me with my kids. I like to give them a little love, of the I'd tease them a little here and there, but the teasing came back tenfold, so it always backfired on me.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And
I think that people can help me with.
Awesome.
All right, Lauren. Yeah, you caught up.
Trevor, thank you, man. And we'll talk tomorrow as well.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Seth. Bye, Trevor.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the March 27th interview. Would you guys like to do one more today before we end out here? Do you guys have the time? Do you want to do another one in this one? You want me to tell you who it is coming up next? Anybody? He goes on Fox on the 29th too. But on the 29th, we go to Dolly Vision. Would you guys like to watch Dolly Vision? Because that's the next one. Then we're almost to the end of March. And then we're going to get into April. And April gets a lot of interesting ones. Okay, let me pull up Dolly's. Let me grab it. And yes, we are skipping the main media ones, things like that. There is some others. members have access to that and the calendar. Some of the, like I said, some of the things aren't going to make sense to people, but
AOL.
hopefully most of it does make sense. This isn't a super long one because Dolly cut it. So again, this is all under fair use. This is based on my opinion only of the bullshit that's about to be spread. So this is from March 29th. This is in Dolly's video section for those of you looking for it, because he did take down a lot of his Sebastian Rogers content when he said he was no longer covering it. And then he went right back to grifting from holy hell off of it. But here we go. So we're going to, yep, we got that on speed. Okay. Everybody ready? Here we go.
Yep, gotcha.
At least somebody does.
Okay, what is going on, Seth?
I'm just tired, exhausted.
Now, I know you really can't go with this, but I know you had a meeting with the TBI and stuff today.
Okay. Again, just for date purposes, the 27th was the interview that we just watched with Josh. We know that the week of the 20th, 21st, JLR came to town, was specifically asked to come to town. People were on the ground. Dolly had been there. He had met Clue and Cletus before this. Seth had done Nancy Grace in that time frame. All sorts of movement had been going on. So there's a lot of stuff. And if you go look at the calendar, you can see some of that. Again, some of my notations are definitely not going to make sense to people, but hopefully you can figure it out. And I'm almost done with my legend as far as all the links and videos and stuff.
Right.
Seems like everybody knew it before I did.
The internet works fast.
Thank you.
Word gets around. These internet streets, it's quick.
I miss dial-up days.
There you go. AOL. I watched a little bit of you and Josh last night. Josh, a good dude.
I saw you in chat, man.
Yeah.
I left your chat and because you were in your hotel room getting off.
Yeah.
Really? Right out the fucking gate. We're going, Seth. And here's my thing. I would not have a problem with this sense of humor at all, or him having a sense of humor, I guess I should say, except for the circumstances surrounding what they were supposed to be talking about. The constant reference to women, the private parts constantly, like, guys are weird. I get that. They're super immature. Kyle would never behave like this. Like, even with his male buddies, he doesn't talk like this. So it's a little shocking to me. And I'm trying not to overreach there. But I think you get a big picture of his personality. And in the timing of this, if these were things Chris said, I mean, we saw Chris do voices and the fucking internet lost their mind. Can you imagine if he said stuff like this?
Off the internet.
Let me ask you this. Was there anything positive come out today?
There is.
I found positivity in it.
That's all. That's good. Then that's it. That's what I think. I know you can't go into it too much. So, how's the searching going?
You what?
Y'all gonna be searching again tomorrow, 10:30? Is that what you said?
Right now, that's kind of up in the air. I don't know what
Lori, that's one of the ones I'm excited to get to because I don't think many people that I know watch that channel or even know about that channel. And that one to me is pretty interesting. So that will be coming up very soon too.
Planning on me tomorrow. I'm Roman Catholic and it's Good Friday.
Oh, okay.
It's time to go commune with the Lord. Maybe he will give me what I need. Maybe he will reach down and bless me.
Definitely. So if things, what you heard today is positive, now, if you think it's a possibility somebody could be holding your son against his will?
I look at it like this. I've been on the internet. I've been on the TV.
Uh-huh.
I even been on the radio, which probably most people don't even realize that. But if my son were able to hear me or see me on TV or on the internet, he would know to give me a call.
Okay. So you think he don't have access to that right now?
I don't think he does.
Because
I really think
have you ever known him to watch the news?
No.
Okay, never known him to watch the news. So if he was on the news, he probably wouldn't even know he was on the news then.
Correct. I mean, I haven't had cable in Probably 9 or 10 years.
Seth, let me ask you this. Now, I know that tonight in the news interview, you said, he's probably somewhere playing video games. Do you know if he played these video games online with other people?
Nah,
He didn't, or no, you don't know?
I don't know because it's like at my house, a lot of the games that he was playing were on my account,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of them were solo games like Spider-Man and Batman Arkham Knights.
Okay. Yeah, because I play a lot of gaming myself. Certain games. A lot of,
We heard in the interview that we watched last night that he was attempting to get him to set up his own Gmail account so he could game, but he said that Sebastian liked to use Seth's account. And again, he's saying that.
games where you're in lobbies with other people. I play a lot of online gaming.
I do that. I do mobile on my phone. But,
Okay. So, I
again,
mean,
he would be sitting there playing video games. When he played on his Switch, he didn't play online with people. He played single player games.
okay. So I'm just wondering.
But previously we had heard that he did game with Seth's friends. Okay.
How somebody maybe have access to get to your son. If I heard you say today that the TBI don't think you're a suspect, they don't think Chris is a suspect, they don't think Katie's a suspect. So there has to be some, if they're not, like the internet is saying, if Katie and Chris don't got nothing to do with this, then there's another answer to what's going on. Or
Fucking kidding me.
There'd be another answer.
another answer. Now, do you think would your son know the area? Would he be easily lost? Does he get confused?
If you stay all the time in your house and you're only going from your house to the bus stop, and then you know how to get to where you're going to school, and the rest of the time you're in a vehicle, would you really know how to get anywhere by foot?
Yeah, I guess if your bubble's small, you're right. You really wouldn't know the area. So if you got outside that bubble, you could get lost.
You get stuck in the woods and you're used to blacktop, you can get lost.
Okay. To school. The bus stop is right outside of his house. He's talking about the bus to the school. Yeah, the bus to school, you guys. I know that's what instantly too. And I think people have even asked if he had ever used public transportation, and the answer was no. I think that was asked of Chris, if I'm correct. But the bus stop that he's referencing is the school bus right outside of his house. Like they come to his house to pick him up. Yeah, you're definitely seeing the intentional stuff here.
I think a lot of the stuff is,
Yes, this is an older interview. We're going through time-wise through the interviews with YouTubers, not like the media ones or anything, but these are Seth's interviews, and am I wrong? It's part 8, I think.
When I heard you say today that they don't think they're a suspect,
Let me look.
some of the behavior is strange, like the whole going out of town thing. I think that was a little strange. Because I'd be like you. I'd be out here searching every day. I have one child. I have a daughter. She's 24 years old, and even right now, I'd be out searching.
Well,
I think their behavior. I think their behavior, and look, it might just be the way they act and just who they are, makes them seem a little suspect. I ain't saying they did it. I'm just saying
this is from March 29th for anybody that's asking. It is from March 29th. This was a live stream that Dolly was doing. Seth called into the live stream. This is his edited version of this. This is under his video section under Dolly Vision. It's in the videos. It's the top one. It's from March 29th. The one we watched previously from Josh was from March 27th. Just so everybody kind of has the dates.
it makes them seem a little suspect.
Makes them don't seem right.
And so
Thank you.
I know there's some other
Anita, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Cabana, where we don't give a fuck about anything besides families and the truth. And we're a bunch of assholes, but we're lovable assholes most of the time.
locals that are going to be out there searching. There's a few search parties, I think, that are gathered tomorrow other than the UNC. There's another group of people that are going to be out there searching for your son. And I hope that, more people start to put these search parties together and get out there and find his boy. If he's out there lost, at this point, he has to have some type of assistance, right? Because where would he get food at? Or where would he would need water, he would need food. He would need some type of assistance.
I'm trying not to lead you guys again. This is really hard because again, let me be very clear here. I do not think there is no evidence currently that Seth, Chris, or Katie are involved in Sebastian's disappearance. Let me be very factual on that. I do not think that his bad behavior necessarily has anything to do with the actual disappearance, like Sebastian going. I think his behavior could have played a factor in him leaving, if that makes sense. The toxicity, things of that nature. If he did run away, I think that's possible. But I don't necessarily think that at this point in time, there's no evidence, is what I should say. There's no evidence to support that he was directly involved in the actual disappearance. His behavior, however, is very questionable. I have a lot of questions that cannot be answered, and it seems like they just grow as we watch more and more. Can you be a shitty, absolute shitty human being with horrible behavior and still not be involved? Absolutely. But I think this gives people a bigger perspective of who he's been all along. This is what he's been like the entire time. But watch his facial expressions. Please.
He would.
And
And again, have you ever been homeless, man?
no, I've never been homeless.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you think he's
Arctic. Speaking of that, Am was around for those days and sent me a whole list of comparisons between the two. Crazy interesting.
you think he may be going eating out of dumpsters, begging, like.
I don't think you would be that way. I've been homeless before. Homeless people take care of homeless people, and homeless people have that little piece in their heart where they take care of the kids. They always take care of the kids.
So you
For everybody that's been running around the internet and asking which interview this came from, this is Dolly's interview. I've heard a lot of people asking, and I always
you
forget.
think he could possibly be in a homeless, like
Homeless camps and everything else, man.
now look, now I've been out there in the woods in Tennessee, and I've been ran into a couple different homeless encampments out there that look like people were living in and staying in them woods. So I know there's people definitely living in the woods.
And I mean, I've been out there. I've looked for them. I take a picture of my son. You know, when my parents came here the first week, that's the first thing they did. They hit the homeless encampments there in Hendersonville with pictures of my son.
Uh-huh. And anything come of that? The homeless, I'm sure the homeless people ain't gonna tell you much anyway.
Well, if a child's saying that he's running in fear or something, homeless people protect them.
Okay. What do you
Yes and no. They're also not going to put themselves in risk for getting in trouble with the law either, depending on, like, that's not always across the board. Again, I'd be interested. Janice, I need to send that to my friend that's homeless in Nashville.
what do you make of the footprints at the retention pond? Do you think there is something to him, or you think that's just a busy area, or what do you think?
Honestly, I don't know.
You don't know?
I only knew about those literally just because I listened to that call.
Oh, to the dispatch call.
Yep.
Yeah, I was listening to that, and it sounds like he was running, but I've heard you say he could swim.
Yep.
And that I went to that retention pond.
Sounds like he was running. No, there's no proof of that.
And it ain't very deep.
The retention pond was drained.
It ain't like he could drown in that.
People can drown in an inch of fucking water, Dolly.
But I wonder why there's no trail from there. That's it just ends there. And here, you live down there. Does the trash run that early in the morning for them lights to be a trash truck?
Trash ran at 5 o'clock in the morning.
He does not live there. He lives in Clarksville.
The reason he had a 311 is because the guy's DVR recorder is stuck at 311.
Oh.
He says again that the DVR was stuck at 311. So was he seeing a still of the video, or was he seeing this whole Chasing? If you're in here still, this is the part that it just drives me nuts with this whole stuck camera thing. The time again. Is he explaining that he was seeing a still shot of the camera? Like, I can never understand what he does with this.
Oh. Okay, so he
I
actually
watched the whole thing, and they showed me 10 minutes of it, dude. And the timer still was at 311
when it started and 3:11 when it finished.
Okay, so the video was actually another time, and it wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I understand now. Okay, so he did tip the truck earlier that morning.
So in this one, he says that he watched it for 10 minutes.
It's just the fact that their timer on the DVR was broken.
Have you been in communication with Chris and Katie?
They called me today.
Are y'all kind of patching up the relationship? I know they were a little mad at you about the GoFund stuff, and I've heard that, everything. So are y'all working that out? They got to understand that you're out there searching for the boy and that you're going to need help. They got to understand that. To be mad at you or anything like that. They need Chris should be out there beside you helping you, is what I believe. They shouldn't be mad at you. That's a family thing. I don't know. And if it's true that they're not suspects and they don't got nothing to do with this, I hope your family can work this out and that Sebastian's found safely. And maybe it is just a upset with the stepdad and he's took off, and he's okay. It would make more sense than them hurting him for no reason.
Things just don't make sense with this.
Now, I don't know the reason that the CPS was called at the house. I just didn't know that. I heard you say that you found out later that they didn't tell you anything, that there was any reason
That podcast aired, man.
that the CPS had came to the house ever. I guess him going to school saying that his stepdad hit him with a belt.
I guess. Because, I mean, I didn't know about it until he said it in the podcast.
Let me ask you this, and this is an important question for Dad. Have y'all ever discussed the discipline of your child? Have you ever discussed it with Chris? Because I can tell you, look, my baby mama, I told her boyfriend, I said, you ever put your hands on my kid, I'm going to prison. I'm going to come out there and I'm going to do some bad shit to you. You know what I mean? That's what I told him. That's exactly what I told him.
Laura, welcome to the Cabana. Thank you for becoming a member.
But luckily, he was a good dude. He never put his hands on my daughter or anything. But I let him know right off the rip, don't discipline my child. If you need my child disciplined, you call me. I will discipline my child. Had y'all ever discussed anything like that?
Supposed to be no corporal discipline.
So he wasn't posted.
There was supposed to be no corporal discipline. Julie A., thank you for the gifted memberships. I am so confused by some of these statements that he's making. And we know that he has said that he talked to Chris about Sebastian. They communicated.
To touch your son whatsoever. Yeah, see, that's how I am. I mean, it's just one of those man laws. I try to, because most of my viewers are women. They don't quite get man laws, so I try to explain them. I was like, you just don't put your hands on another person's kid, especially when you're in the picture and you're an active father. And I don't know if it's the case he ran off. He's gonna turn up. If he's I've listened to you say, because when you hear Chris and them talk about him and the mom talking about him, like, he uses the bathroom on himself. They make him sound like he's not as functional as you make him sound. You make him sound like
Wrong. That is completely reversed. That is completely reversed. How Dolly, this is again in the narrative painting, because if you actually listen to things, Seth is the one that compared him to a 10-year-old at functioning levels. Chris and Katie have described how brilliant Sebastian is, how capable Sebastian is. How people
like he's normal kid, everything's okay, and they make it sound like a little bit different story.
There is, not to play word salad, there are 3 parts to every story. There's my part, their part, and the truth.
And the truth, yeah.
All right. Now.
Yeah, but I hope you're telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be telling the truth. So I hope the truth is with you.
First of all, I don't got shit to fucking hide.
Yeah.
Oh.
So but at the same point in time, I don't talk a lot of shit. I'm not the monkey at the zoo. I'm not throwing shit.
Yeah.
All right. I will not defend.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Not only have you been throwing shit, but now you've aligned yourself with all these creators who threw shit for you. And now you've got TikTok truck stop Tony over there, fucking egghead himself, throwing shit at them. BHB, you know, your team. Bullshit. All right, where are we at? All you guys do is spend time on the adults. Where is Sebastian? Well, if I knew where Sebastian was, he would be home, first and foremost. Secondly, I'm not a true crime creator, so you might have gotten lost. I call out misinformation and intentional bullshit between creators and, well, unfortunately, a biological father who muddied the waters in his own son's case. That's what I do. I'm just your friendly asshole with a YouTube channel and a lot of fucking opinions on people's poor behavior and exploiting families at their worst time. You might have gotten lost of how you got here, but I don't think that I'm an armchair detective that's going to bring anybody home. So I point out things that are intentional misinformation and misguiding for a narrative by YouTubers and others. That's what I do.
And people that dig their own fucking grave. You know, when you guys are talking about their behavior makes them look suspect,
Thanks, Clue.
it's probably because they want you to. That's their behavior.
Yeah.
I ain't their parents.
Yeah.
I raised my son.
Yeah.
That's why this doesn't make sense to me. Was there supposed to be child support? No. Were we going back to court? No. Our decree says that we can change it the way we want to if we both agree to it.
So they wouldn't have had there was no real reason for them to, because some people be like, well, she was scared she was going to have to pay child support, but y'all had an agreement with y'all child that y'all would take care of whatever between that needed to be taken care of. So there was never no child support. Me and my baby's mother, we
don't give a fuck, Dolly. Seriously, I'm so sick of this. We don't give a shit about you and your experience. Okay, Dolly, I'm sorry. Just don't. But no, there was no child support. The whole assumptions and all of the narrative that was ran around that something happened because of a social security check, that wasn't truthful either.
The same agreement you made. We made the exact same agreement. If my daughter needs something, I will take care of it. Right?
Yeah, right. You know how many times Katie's called me up, hey, he needs a new pair of glasses. Okay, well, tell me how much it is. I'll transfer the money.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do with my babies. But she never took me to court for child support. We were co-parented separately. And everything worked out perfectly fine. There was no, like if she would have took my daughter, like she had custody. Like if I would have took her, I wouldn't have took her to court for child support either. So there's really no, no reason for her to hurt her child. A lot of people, I do believe, think Katie may have hurt your child. And
respectfully, Dolly not only disrespects other creators, which I don't give a shit about. They're grown-ass adults. I could care less what another creator says about me. But the worst part of what Dolly does is he exploits the victims, especially minor children and their families. Like Where's the Baby soap, the Katie Come Clean soap. That's exploitation of the victims and their families at the worst moments. So for me, it's way worse than him disrespecting creators. I could care less about the creator drama between all of them. They all have some fucking he said, she said, don't like bullshit. But he has gone way over the top and surpassed the disrespect because he does it to the families with a smile on his face. He is your typical Howard Stern wannabe who uses people's pain and suffering as part of his show. People have dark humor, but to me, this isn't dark humor. This is morbid and disgusting because this is an active missing case.
To do that, there would have to be some reasoning for it, and I just haven't seen any of that.
So I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I was getting what I wanted since the divorce anyways. I was okay.
He was getting what he wanted since the divorce.
With, joint legal, joint physical, but I was getting what I wanted.
Yeah. And now he was getting to get ready to come stay with you for the summer, right?
I already have him enrolled in school here.
From your address?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
he was going to come live the summer with me, but he was going to start going to school up here at the end of summer.
Oh, okay. So he was going to start living with you full time. Now that's what I've heard. That's what was rumored to me in the beginning, that he was coming there and then that he was going to be living with you.
Yes. I was going to take him for the summer.
Now, how long had that been planned? Like, how long, when y'all discussed that with Kate, like, how long you go, okay, I'm going to take him this summer, then he's going to live with me and go to school. Had y'all planned that? Have y'all discussed that? Huh?
Since last year.
So this ain't something that just popped up, or so this has been planned that he was going to come stay with you. Okay. That makes a little more sense. So there's no reason in there for her to be like, oh, he's going to take the kid. I've heard a lot, you know, I'm sure this you watch this. And there's
I've read a lot, and you know, some of them I find them hilarious, like the gentleman that called in. You know,
with the snake.
the snake ate the boy.
The snake ate the
I know F, I was wishing Dolly wouldn't have cut him off there because he said the summer, and then it sounded like he was going to carry on with the story, but Dolly cut him off. I would love to know if he was going to say we were going to go through the summer and then see how things were. I would love to know because I would bet they were going to adjust and kind of check in and see where things were.
Dingo's got my baby. Look, I know it's hard as a parent to definitely hear the crazy stuff on the internet, right? Just theories and speculation. I do it. You know, I say things I think this happened. I think this happens. I think it's human nature to be curious. You know, curiosity killed the cat. And there's a lot of curious. But some of the stories for me, like some of the theories are so far out there, even for me, that I'm like, okay, okay, that's a little much. That's a little much.
I'll just say that I'm missing aluminum foil and tinfoil at my house because somebody's wearing it as a hat somewhere.
Well, listen, I've seen parents of missing kids wearing aluminum tinfoil hats. And matter of fact, parents of missing kids in Tennessee wearing aluminum tinfoil hats on live streams. Okay. I'll send you a picture if you don't believe me.
Oh, I believe.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen a lot.
I spent 9 years in California, and then I moved back here to the United States. And I'll tell you right now that
Oh, you like that one right there? I got it, F. I just did it too. I'm going to back that up.
So, I've seen a lot.
I spent 9 years in California, and then I moved back here to the United States. And I'll tell you right now that I've seen them both.
Now, I've heard you say you're innocent to proven guilty. You work in corrections, right? And I've heard you say you're not there to judge people, right? And I've noticed a lot of this is you don't do that. You don't get on the news and you don't talk bad about people. You try to stay neutral.
He does not like California because it's liberal. This is where his belief systems come in. Again, no shade. Do what you want. It is what it is. But that's where
Neutral, you know. It ain't no reason really to ruffle a bunch of feathers, like talking shit about people that you're gonna have to deal with for the rest of your life anyway. You know, that's the mother of your baby. Her old man's a little I think he's like he overtalks her a lot. You know, I think he seems controlling.
I've heard that.
I don't know the guy, but he looks a little.
you've heard that. Interestingly enough, you've known him forever, but you've heard that.
Little angry. He seems controlling, and when they ask her questions, he answers the questions. Like he don't give her a chance to speak, and that's what I think is making people go, so, "This dude ain't." And he's been married 5 times. Okay, I mean, how many
I've
times?
been married once.
By the way, for all of you talking about how many times Chris has been married, he also served in the military for 16 years. It is very common for some, not all, to have multiple marriages through different deployments and service is hard on marriages. Not saying that, but they make this into something that it definitely doesn't necessarily have to be. And you know what's funny? Nina, the only one who has an active child custody case against Chris, the only one that has a child with Chris, is the only one that has came out and said negative anything about Chris.
Once.
Once.
I learned.
So I think maybe if it didn't work out in 5 times, it might not be in your. You might not be the best dude if you know.
No, you know, 5 times, maybe, you know, I would say if I was looking out from the outside, I would tell the person if you've been married so many times and it's not working, it can't be the person that you're with, it's the person in the mirror.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes it's hardest to see your flaws. You know, like me, I'm sure I got plenty of flaws, but it's hard for me to see my own flaws. But other people can see them. You know.
I know flaws.
Yeah, I know some of mine. I don't want to bring them up right now.
My hardest critic. So it's like, I know my flaws. I don't know all of them, but I know the majority of them.
So when they tried to call you today, did you speak with them?
I did.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: when you went and met with the TBI today, was Katie and Chris with you? Can you answer that?
Katie was there.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I ain't gonna make you get you into something that you ain't supposed to speak on.
If I answer something that I'm not supposed to answer, I'll know.
Okay. All right. So you
I'll
said,
know I'll be in trouble later.
yeah. So you say today was hopeful, which is a good thing. Okay. I won't go into what they did. Let me ask you this: they show you a video?
Yeah.
Okay. Did that video contain your son?
Yes.
Okay. Was that video from somewhere outside that house?
Yes.
That means your son's out there.
They showed me a video that I have been asking for from the very beginning. I wanted to see a video of my son after I spoke to him Thursday and before he disappeared on Monday.
Okay, so this video of your son is from after the time he went missing?
No, it was before.
It was before. Was it the video from the restaurant?
It's the proof of life video he asked for that they showed him as they were leaving the Texas Roadhouse.
I knew it was that video from the restaurant. I went to that restaurant the other night, Seth. I had chicken. Well, and I also spoke to the people there.
Had chicken?
Huh?
You went to a steakhouse and had chicken.
I had chicken. Yeah, I had chicken. And a loaded baked potato and broccoli. I always go to the steakhouse and get chicken. I don't know why. I do it at Outback too.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you can't go to Chick-fil-A and get a hamburger.
Yeah, I know. So I went to the restaurant. I spoke to the waitresses and stuff at the restaurant because, that's what I do. I sleuth around and try to look for answers or clues or different things. So the video from the rest. So there's nothing from the point that you haven't seen anything from the point he's went missing, just
No.
prior to it. So they showed you a little prior. Did everything seem happy in the video? Everything seemed good. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. But let me think. I want to dig into a hole here.
It's because you're not asking the right question.
Yeah. Okay. What do the police believe happened? What are they telling you? Did they have hit you with anything? They just keeping? You can't answer that one, huh?
Didn't tell me nothing.
They didn't tell you nothing.
They're not going
Put the vibrator away.
to tell me anything on the investigation.
Well, why show you the video?
Because I'd asked.
It's a shoulder massager, people too. Don't.
You would ask for the video. So, but
I asked. I said, I need to see proof of life before he went.
Okay, because you wanted to know he was alive before he went missing.
I wanted to make sure he was okay beforehand.
Okay.
And they showed it to me. I'd asked for it.
And he was okay, and everything was good with him, normal.
Yeah.
And you said he wouldn't.
Still not asking the right question.
Okay, well, tell me what the right question is there, Seth. What do you got? What do you know, Seth, that we don't know? Can you tell us what you know?
I had 2 more meetings today afterwards.
You got, say that one more time.
I had 2 more meetings afterwards.
After you seen the video?
I had 2 more meetings afterwards. I had meetings planned all day today.
With TBI, law enforcement? Okay, you met with somebody else?
Yeah.
Is
you
it the
know why I'm
FBI?
happy? Huh?
Is it the FBI?
Nope.
Okay. Well, yeah, why you happy?
More information that I didn't have before.
Oh, all right, let's get it. Let's get it, Seth.
There's more information.
Okay.
Now, see, I already told them I'm running my own investigation as well.
Uh-huh.
I still want to intrude upon their own.
Okay.
No, I'm as well.
Do you think that, okay, this is a question for Huntress. Does he think that they will wrap up soon and his baby will be found?
Yes, they're Seth and Sebastian. So Seth lives in Clarksville, Tennessee. Sebastian lived with his mom and stepdad, Chris. Chris and Katie live in Hendersonville. It's an hour and 10 minutes distance. But when they were searching, when JLR did that search for the footage, that was an hour and a half away, but I'm not exactly sure. Well, I'll look. Well, you guys listen to this actually. Hold on.
She asked that question. from the chat.
Always. That's beyond a doubt. That's an everyday when I wake up.
Okay.
All right. That's being hopeful and knowing that the answer's out there and I'm gonna find it.
Now, are the police being like reassuring that they're gonna figure this out to you?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
So the park they were searching was that Natchez. Looks like it's an hour and a half, hour and 43 minutes outside of Hendersonville. The one on the JLR video. And then let me see. And it's an hour and 42 minutes from Clarksville too. I don't know.
Okay. Have you spoke with the FBI?
Hey, Frenchie girl.
Yep.
Okay. Now one of my things is this.
Yes, and those were based on psychic tips from Donna.
Them houses out there in that neighborhood are really, really nice houses. Most of them have security systems, cameras.
I don't know exactly what she said for that park specifically. She was talking about wilderness and stuff in some of her videos, and they were getting info. So that is all I have to. I don't know exactly why they went there, though, truthfully, besides leads that they were getting, supposedly.
Why is he not on any of those cameras?
Don't know.
Don't know.
I don't
What?
know. Like, but then again, if I lived in a house that cost $688,000, I damn well have a fucking security system on it too.
Yeah, and I'm.
Isn't it interesting or ironic that he knows exactly the cost of their home?
I mean, most of them houses out there or up there in that range, they start at 500,000. They're living a lot better than me. I noticed there was a lot of cameras out there.
Law enforcement, they're making a lot more than I am. Okay.
Yeah. I said the same thing when I said it. I was like, they're making a lot more than I am.
Keep going the way they're going, I might turn around and have to go start flipping burgers for $22 an hour.
So how is everything with your work? Did they understand what's going on?
I asked for a leave of absence. When I ask for a leave of absence, they know that I'm looking for my son.
Okay, so they're not giving you a hard time at work. So when you decide to go back to work, everything's gonna be good with you.
I'm hoping. I haven't heard from them.
Okay.
Again, this was March 29th, and you notice that he talks about he took a leave of absence, but he doesn't mention how amazing his coworkers were for donating their PTO time so he could take a leave of absence and still be paid.
Let me think of anything else. Okay, so you met with you had a couple more meetings today, other than with the TBI. You gained more information. And we learned that the trash truck, that was just a trash truck. It wasn't flashlights.
Correct.
The shoe thing. Now I've heard you say this.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he stepped in the ant pile, the fire ants. I'm from Georgia. I know about them fire ants. They'll light your ass up, boy. I mean, like cigarette burns. They got me good. As a kid, I fell into one riding a bike.
I thought of it as a cigarette burn because I've never been burnt by a cigarette, but I've been burnt by a match head before. And that's what fire ants remind me of.
Yeah, it reminds me of a cigarette burn. It'll blister up. It hurts. Matter of fact, my yard, we got some fire ants in my yard that'll get your ass. I got the biggest ants you ever seen. They did the biggest ants I've ever seen in my life. It'll be at my house. They are huge ass ants.
Well, Dolly, I'm sure anything's huge compared to you. Anyways.
Our velveteen ants.
These look like monster ass ants.
Like black and about big.
So you don't think he had never ran off before? If he was to say, hey, I'm upset with my stepdad, I want to get out of here.
He's never ran off before. But then if you listen to the interview that Seth gave with media, he says that Jay for Justice clipped into an amazing fashion. Sick fuck. Ugh. Anyways, the story changed again.
Why wouldn't he take any shoes? And why, when everybody asked her that, Chris overspeaks her?
I don't know.
So certain. Like, how does he know he took the flashlight?
Don't know again.
Or are they just missing a flashlight?
Huh?
I mean, are they missing the flash? I mean, I guess they're missing a flashlight. That's what makes them think they took the flashlight. Because if she was in bed when he left, how does she know he had the flashlight?
I would say that she's saying that.
Harry, I don't fucking like Dolly. Period, point blank, end of story. I don't think anybody's shocked by that. I don't like people who fucking exploit victims at their worst time. And that's what Dolly does. Especially has a knack for exploiting children in active cases. I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't try to pretend like I like these fucking weirdo strangers that exploit victims and kick them when they're down. Sorry. It is what it is.
Because they can't find it.
Yeah, I would think so too. And I'm sure being the mother, she, you know, she knows what shoes he has, and all them shoes are accounted for.
Yep, shoes go off at the front door at her house just like they go off at the front door at mine.
Oh no, Duchess. Duchess, you can say, and with all the fucking disrespect, I do not like any of these people because they continue to do this time and time again to these families. They don't give a shit about these families. They don't give a shit about these missing children. They throw out wild speculation that is so harmful to these victims and their families, and the long-term damage is absolutely unacceptable, and they don't give two shits. So with all the disrespect intended, I don't fuck with people like this. Wouldn't in my real life. Sure as hell I'm not going to pretend that I like this guy online.
Okay. It just seems a little odd that he would leave like that with no shoes on and never.
Chasing. Chasing, you might be right.
Done that before.
Yep.
Does he does he ever have any episodes?
What do you mean by episodes?
Like maybe where he don't know what's going on, gets confused?
He hasn't had any of those type of seizures in years.
Okay.
Interesting though how he said. Anyways.
Okay. So when he was young, he would have these type of medical, but as he got older, he grew out. He outgrew them.
Yep.
Okay.
You just heard what he said in Josh's interview about that whole. I mean, we listened to all of that too.
And the condition, I heard you say something that has one side. You didn't want him playing football or baseball or anywhere he could get hit because he had like some water on his brain or something, a pocket on one side of his.
He had a pocket of fluid on the right bilateral part of his brain.
The right bilateral part of his brain.
Yes, I believe my son is alive.
March 29th, he states that he believes his son is alive.
So he couldn't really take a blow to the head or nothing. If he fell.
Hey, I have a phone call coming in.
Okay, Seth, I'll let you go. I appreciate you coming up here and share with us. Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, Seth, you be good.
All right, y'all. That's the end of that one. That's so hard to listen to. I Wanderer, I was like, Dolly's is actually the most tame, like, that's an undolly. That's not typical Dolly either, which is interesting. But that's probably the tamest I've seen Dolly at all with doing this. Yeah, no shunt. Girl next door, I was like, is that what he's actually saying? That was the most clear I could hear it. I don't even know what to think about all these. I really don't. Like, I just don't understand it. Oh, Steph 284. By the way, I don't know if you know this or not. I saw, again, no problem. I don't care who clips me. But I don't delete my videos, so I'm not sure if you were clipping because I was saying your name or what the deal is, but I can see when you guys clip me, just so you know. I don't care at all, but I don't delete my videos, so I don't know if you clipped twice that I say your name, so I was just a little like, I don't delete my videos. But anyways, just so you know, you don't have to clip my stuff. You can clip it, but you don't have to clip me talking to you because I don't delete my videos. So, okay, I was like, I don't know. I was thinking, oh shit, next thing you know, I'm going to be AI'd into saying something crazy. So I was like, what the hell? But just so you know, you don't ever have to worry about that because I don't delete my videos. I'm not Brittany J. Anyways, with that said, my head hurts. That's a whole lot. No, not Seth. Steph. No, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure you knew that though, because my videos stay up. I know a lot of people dirty delete, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that they don't go anywhere. So anywho, okay, so now we're not going to do any more today. This was the 29th. This is also the day that Nina's interview drops. So you can imagine how chaotic it became in this time frame too. So it's interesting that all of this is going on. Nina, his ex-wife, that's the day that this dropped too. Then we go from that. This is also when the Uvalde Foundation was doing all sorts of stuff. JT Olson. We have an interview on the 30th with Pascal that he called into Pascal's. And then we go back to T-Rev and the lab. So I don't know if I'll have time tomorrow. Yeah, no, you guys, there was nothing. Steph just clipped me when I was responding to her. It's actually cute, but I didn't even know we could see those either. She just clipped that. I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't think that I delete my videos or not. So anyways, I just said her name. Yeah, that's it. I just said her name. It's fine. I get clipped all the time, y'all, and I'm cool with it. I don't care. I am who I am. Like, don't be embarrassed at all. I just wanted you to know that I don't delete. Like, you can grab anything. Totally fine. Steph, clip away. Please clip away. You're not going to bother me. I just wanted you to know, like, they stay up. My videos always stay up, so. Aw, Arctic. Well, aren't you just a ball of joy? Because I'm not. Just joking. I'm not at all. All right, so I am going to chasing. I've thought about showing that one, but I just can't do it. I can't. I cannot. I can't do it because it's just, yeah, I can't. So we're gonna skip over that. Oh, she'll never click. She'll be fine. It's funny. Oh, Steph, just so you know, they can see it though. I don't give a shit whatsoever. I genuinely don't care. But just don't let them start saying. My fear about that is if it's the wrong channel, they'll probably start saying that your stuff, one of the crazy stuffs, and you don't need that. So, anyways, I think we're just going to skip on past that though and do the rest of the interviews. I will try to do content Friday. I probably will not be here tomorrow. Friday will probably be when we're back, and I will try to get through 3 on Friday. That will be the goal. And then the beginning of April, we're going to do Novice and all of the rest. You're being asked something nonsense. Oh, wait. Oh, Veruca, yeah. Creators can see it. Yeah, just so you guys are aware. No, Ava, you're fine. Hold on. Googling how to incognito. I know. You guys should probably know that too. Just screen record the shit, y'all, so it doesn't do that. Oh, they do, Aaron? I didn't know that. Interesting. Just screen record it. Have you been documenting the changes in the stories over the course of each interview, such as seizures and Dolly's video, but never in Josh's? Yes, Demon, I have been making notes. At the end, too, I have been going back and listening a little bit closer myself and making notes. Some things aren't as important to me, but there is definite changes in the stories. BJ wants to know if what you are doing is the same as reviewing the Proudfoots. Wait, is she actually in here? Why the fuck are you in here? She's not in here, is she? Where is that? Oh, did she make a community post? Talking shit. Oh, okay. Chasing. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, where is she? What? Oh my God. Brittany. I've tried to explain this to her so many different times. I don't even know if I have it in me today to try again, but let's try. So I don't claim to be true crime. Never have, never will, never, none of it. The difference between you reviewing the Proudfoots is you don't even factually know how things laid out. Like, for instance, the clip I used you as an example in yesterday, you were trying to state that I didn't know that Bubba was his nickname. She's never called him that. Where did that come from? This is like the 6th interview we've watched. She's never called him Bubba before. Ma'am, it's because your interviews were out of order. So it's different when you actually listen to the words that are actually being said by the people versus misdirecting your entire audience and taking people's rumors and speculations to add to your reviews, such as another incident I will give you. Sweetie Pilo and Reverend Donna, you had somebody come in your chat and you were like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, somebody said this, and this. And then you were told where it was from. And yes, you said it was rumor, speculation, and all that other stuff, but you continued to run with it. That's how misinformation spreads. So I'm trying to factually go back and listen to Seth's words, not inputting all of these misinformation rumors from my friends, because as Chasing says, I like 7 fucking people. Okay. Might only be 6 today. Okay. But no, it's nowhere close to the same. I mean, I guess if you're her, you also blame me for the fact that she talked shit on Clue. So she came on my panel, and when asked to name names, I was actually giving her the opportunity to say other names besides Clue and Granny, but she stuck there. She stuck there. So, but somehow that became my fault that she came on and had been calling out Clue. I still am kind of confused by all that, but yeah. Anywho, any questions? Chasing, that's the crazy thing to me is I'm looking, sis. Sis. Oh, did I see your comment? I can see your comment here. Did you comment up here? I thought you were texting me. No, I'm not looking at your comments. I try to ignore you. Bye, sis. Love you. Bye. Okay. I'm getting off here. So what if everybody's telling me to look places. I'm like, where are we going? I know. Maybe I should write a diagram or a how-to handbook. I don't know. I'm not really quite sure. Oh, yeah, Jules. That's interesting. Yeah, I claim I'm not true crime. I guess. Hey, Brad. I guess for me, sorry, I'm reading your guys' comments. Lippy. I don't even know what you would call. Bye, sis. I don't know what you would. I'll be down in a second. I don't know what you necessarily call what I'm doing besides just an asshole with a YouTube channel. But to me, like, this would be the basis for true crime. Timelines, details, factual, debunking. If you really are trying to do it well, this would be the base of it for me. So it's confusing to me that this is confusing to people who call themselves true crime. I don't fucking know. Okay. I don't know. She's definitely not on the list of the 7 people I like. And that's no shit. I don't even like saying I'm a call out channel because I'm just an asshole, truly. And I don't like anybody. and we listen to the people's own words. And sometimes you do get it wrong and you go back and you're like, oh shit, that was said here and then here. And I don't know. Kenzie, you're supposed to be leaving instead of insulting me that I look like a fucking teacher. That's my child. Sheila says, well, Kenzie, she schools them daily. Oh, I don't think you could do that though. How to TC without drama and misinformation, because they wouldn't have. Yeah, chasing it, it really does. It really does. It's really interesting to me to actually go back. This is stuff that intrigues me. I'm doing what intrigues me. Like, I'm not trying to teach any. You guys are adults. Most of you you're way smarter than I am. Like, I'm not trying to teach you guys anything. This is just how my brain works, and it lays out factually like the way it works. And it just happens to be this way. So, a sexy teacher. Okay, y'all. The stringy map thingies. I'll bring the whiteboard back out. It's over here. I got something coming for back here too to show you guys. It should be here in like 7 days. So, okay, I'm going to get out of here. I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday. I just got a text message during this. There's going to be some more shit happening because BHB is up to no good per usual. So, oh my gosh, chasing. And I see, that's the funniest part though, hearing you guys is like everybody's perception, because I had no fucking clue who she was. Like, I had no clue. Didn't matter to me. She was just being so horrible to Dre and Marvon, like terrible. Oh, I found out fast. Let me tell you, I just kind of go for the gusto here. That's why it's so, Brittany J is, how do I put this nicely? There's probably going to be no nice way to put it. Let me play you this, and then I gotta go. Sometimes you just let people speak for themselves, and it's just better off that way. And I'll let her speak for herself. Okay.
Did anybody want to come up and commentate?
Wait, hold on. This part. This is.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me? I'm not even going to make y'all go through the. I don't want to make y'all go through music and another countdown and all of that. Oh.
So this was last night, just for time purposes, everything. This was last night's stream that she did, and this is just a small little clip. This is why Brittany is not liked by people, but not why I don't like her. I don't like what she does to the victims and how dishonest she is about their stories that she claims she made a career out of telling. That's what I don't like about her. But this is part of why she has problems with other people.
I should have known. You know, we had to have something. I mean, it couldn't be left alone where it was at, right? They had to make sure that they had to go do one last hoorah and try their best to take my channel down. Jesus. All right.
So she says that somebody's trying their best to take her channel down. Again, anybody that knows me knows that that's not what's happening, but okay.
For those of you that maybe weren't here before and are here now, I was live. I just started my live out, and I just got through telling everybody and their mama how bad my day was. A really bad day, okay?
Sorry about
I'm not going to share with y'all because people in their everybody in the sun comes after me. That's
everybody in the sun comes after her. I've also heard clips of her saying that she's been treated worse than Katie Proudfoot. The irony in that.
You know, a part of the cheap seats. And they'll say that I'm trying to make you, I'm sad fishing and trying to grift and make y'all feel sorry for me. So I'm going to spare that detail of what.
So she's going to tell you that people are going to say she's grifting, but that's not what she's doing. Meanwhile, that's what she's doing. I mean, make it make sense, kind of.
Going on in my personal life. I don't have that luxury. But somebody freaking came in here and they sent a super chat and they set their picture to a wang, a peen, a freaking whatever you want to call it, a worm, whatever your choice of words is for the male genitalia. Okay, it was a bare freaking wank. And obviously, YouTube does not play when it comes to nudity. Yes, Mel 007. Good to see you, Mel. If you show nudity on your channel and you're reported, your channel goes down instantly. So it's a common tactic that
I've never had, it'll probably be done now, but I've never had somebody super chat me with a weird avatar. Never had that happen whatsoever. Nor do I troll other creators, especially if I address them. I don't do it. I don't go in chats. Like, this isn't something, but it's really interesting to me how that's going. These are Hype disposable vapes is what that is, Demon. This is my first one that I'm trying. It's strawberry, apple, watermelon. I'm going to try to quit smoking. Don't hold me to that, because in 2 years, I'll still be smoking.
that people use. I don't know who did it, who's behind it, whatever. They're evil, whoever they are. But that it's a common tactic that's been used since I started my channel. They'll come in, they'll give you a super chat because the picture to us is very small. So they'll drop like $1 super chat and say something that looks like they're normal, regular people. And then when you click on it, it's too late. You just flash nudity on your screen. So you have a matter of seconds to go and shut the live down and delete it. And if you don't get it in time, they report you to YouTube and immediately your channel goes down.
Bitch, shut the hell up. You're offended by me freaking torching scorpions. You freaking probably called the PETA on me for fucking scorpions. You were so fucking whiny about that. Oh, yeah.
That is the one way that they can get your channel
I'm joking.
down.
She probably
So
didn't.
yeah, I'm sure it's somebody who hates me that, maybe reporting me is not enough. So they're trying the easy way.
Last night, I guess, chasing. I don't know. There was no super chat with the P and she's lying. Yeah, I don't know. But here's the part that really just like, this is why people don't like you. And this isn't even why people I don't like you. I don't like you because of what you do to families. But this is probably
to get me taken down. So to those of you that were here and I left abruptly, I apologize, but I would really like to keep my channel. Oh my God, I'm so sick of everything.
They're poisonous as fuck, chasing. They're really bad. Bark scorpions are one of the most poisonous, and they love the pool area.
I am. I'm just so tired of everybody. Okay, let's get started. Thank you everybody for coming back. I appreciate you very much. I know, Mel. You're right, Mel 007. It's good to see you. HDC says it's wild. I kept looking at the super chat and trying to figure out what it was. I never saw it, but I imagine those fools play. Yeah, probably HDC. Oh, I'm sorry, Jazz. I hope your days get better too. Thank you, y'all. I think you need to know that people who love you will always be here for you. People ignore these people and concentrate on the good. You are so sweet. Thank you, y'all. I always speak up for you. They are trash and you're better. Yeah, I'm hey, Katie Bug.
I don't know if it happened or not.
I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. I do appreciate y'all and everything y'all do.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but the way she goes about it is just, it's not cool to troll somebody like that. I mean, I'm not agreeing with that if that's what happened, but
So I thought, let's go ahead and just try to take a step back from Sebastian tonight, from the case that I cannot believe what's happened with Sebastian's case. I can't. I am so disgusted with the way that, with the trajectory of Sebastian's case. I am so disgusted. It has gotten so bad. It really has. Bad. Hang on a second. Brown Eyed Girl, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. There are a lot of missing children, Mel. There are. Absolutely. And then we got these body cams that I want to go over with you guys.
Dexter just coughed. Anyways, it's just unnecessary shit. To say that you're being treated worse than Katie Proudfoot too and if you haven't seen that pineapple icicle treat, clipped that. I look crazy right now. I don't know how much more explaining to this one anybody could do, truthfully. Like I don't get it, but everything just gets turned into something about poor her, poor something like that. Like I don't give a shit. It is what it is, but I don't know how she can make herself the victim while victimizing and re-victimizing the family going through their worst time. It's really odd to me how she can't see that. So anywho, that's that. Oh, chasing about the scorpions. So the reason why I switched to fire, just so everybody is aware too, scorpions, if you search and research bark scorpions, it's actually really crazy. They can survive underwater for X amount of time. I have spray that you can use and they'll just carry on. Like they just carry on and go totally fine on their own about it. They carry their babies on their backs after they have babies. And there's like, they're itty bitty, they're fucking scary. They can also survive without food or water for a long time. They're the wild, like I learned so much about them, but they're extremely poisonous. And I have medically complex kids as is. So we spray too. The big thing is trying to get their like feed source out, which is, other bugs mostly. They really like crickets, little bugs. So that's why I switched to flame, because it's the quickest, most humane way of getting rid of them, because it just instantly. But let me tell you, they're a trip. And some of them are really big. Some of the tiny ones are the ones that freak me out. They're really big. They're itty bitty little suckers and they just glow. No, I took mine down. I took my videos down because I got hit for violence. I don't care, but yeah, chasing, I know. By the way, chasing, we could fight anyways, because you have the other rodents that I'm deathly afraid of. You have rats. I'm so afraid of rats. They're cute, but I'm deathly afraid of rats. I had hamsters my whole life. Yeah, search bark scorpions. That's why I get rid of them. Like it's actual pest control. Our neighbor guy is a pest control. We spray every month. Well, you never know. It is actually a really good release for me, but they love the water too. And we happen to live in one of their zones. So if you look, they have like trails that they follow. It's crazy. Like scorpions are a whole other thing. Like it is a total other. Yes, we're in their area. And of course, we're in the desert. So it comes with the territory. But I'm going to protect my kids because they are poisonous and they can be deadly. Very few incidents of them actually being deadly, but they are. Oh, chasing. We have lizards all over our back fence. All over. We have lizards everywhere. And they run around. The one I went and like tried to pet the one the other day and he ended up like spitting at me a little bit. It was hysterical though, because I was like, what was that? Like, what are you trying to do? Kyle is a chicken. Yeah. I'm the one that has to take care of him because Kyle's freaked out by bugs. So, all right, y'all. I hope you guys all have a rest of your good day. Oh, speaking of catching them, chasing, if I have the guts or the method to capture the scorpions, they actually use them. I think a gallon of the scorpion venom was worth like $39 million. Now you would have to collect billions of scorpions to get to that, truthfully. But they are extracting venom from, yeah, it's cool. Look them up. They have scorpion farms. Amethyst sent me that and about made me cry. But they're using it for medical treatments. I didn't even know. I mean, it's been a thing for a while, but Kyle screams. Yeah. All right. See you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys Friday. Bye.